Hi, everyone. This is Mark Tobert, your advertising consultant from iFIBER ONE Newsradio. Are you missing customers because you only market to a specific group? iFIBER ONE Newsradio can help you hit a larger group of buyers with our diverse audience. We are 24 hours of local and national breaking news, award-winning talk radio, and primetime sports, including local high school sports. What does this mean to you? This means our listeners listen longer to entire programs and don't switch to another station when a commercial comes on. Our coverage in the Puget Sound area hits over 500,000 listeners, including Mason County, Thurston County, Grace Harbor County, King, Pierce, Joint Base Lewis McCourt, and Kitsap County to the Bremerton Naval Base. All advertising is 100% tax deductible. So how can you afford not to advertise? Call me, Mark Tobert, at iFIBER ONE Newsradio to become a total audience plan advertiser. Just call 360-426-1030.
Alex Jones and InfoWars on from 6 to 9 weekdays on iFIBER ONE News Radio, AM 1030 and FM 1033 KMAS Shelton.
Here's the latest from ABC News. I'm Karen Chase. It's wall-to-wall campaign ads in New York. The candidates are saturating the airwaves to drum up support for tomorrow's critical primary. Polls show Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton going into the race with double-digit leads. ABC political consultant Matthew Dowd says it's a must-win for Bernie Sanders.
Not in modern primary times have you lost your home state and then gone on to win the nomination in the process of this. This is the last real big moment for Bernie Sanders. He has to win this. He has to win it, not really because of delegates, but really to cause a political earthquake. And he needs a political earthquake to change the dynamic.
It's wall-to-wall people in Hopkinton, Massachusetts, where the Boston Marathon is stepping off for its 120th running. ABC's Brian Clark has more.
26.2 miles from Hopkinton to Boston. That's the Boston Marathon, but now a new reality. Boston Police Commissioner William Evans.
It's a real crazy world out there, and, you can never be too safe. But, in the near future, hopefully we can slowly but surely get it back to the way it was.
The way it was before the 2013 bombings that killed 3 people and injured over 260 more. With that in mind, there will be 5,000 police officers along the course for today's race. Brian Clark, ABC News.
It could have been a disaster. Aviation officials are investigating an apparent drone strike by a British Airways jet on approach to London's Heathrow Airport. No one was hurt and the plane wasn't damaged, but ABC aviation consultant Steve Ganyard says the incident is just the latest in a growing number of close calls.
Common sense prevails here. Why would you fly a metal and plastic aircraft in the flight path of a large aircraft with hundreds of people on board that's taking off for landing?
It's crunch time for procrastinators. The extended tax deadline is hours away. Taxpayers must pay up by midnight. The Jungle Book was king of the box office jungle over the weekend, debuting at #1 and pulling in over $103 million. Barbershop, The Next Cut, opened in a distant second. This is ABC News.
These days, we barely give lunch the time of day. We bag it, rush it, skip it, and leave it to fend for itself in the fridge. What used to be a break is but a blip on the radar. Well, it's time to take lunch back. At TGI Fridays, get one of our new fast, fresh pairings, like a strawberry field salad with chicken and a bowl of turkey kale soup for just $6.99. And with quick mobile pay, settle up whenever you want, which means you'll have time for a refreshing triple berry smoothie. Make lunch count. Only at TGI Fridays. At participating restaurants, available Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 3 p.m.
Here's an idea. Instead of waiting for your boss to give you a raise, give yourself one. It's easier than you think. By refinancing your mortgage with Quicken Loans, you could add hundreds of dollars each month to your bottom line. Like a boss. To learn how, call 800-QUICKEN or visit us at QuickenLoans.com. Again, that number is 800-QUICKEN. Quicken Loans. Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender. Licensed in all 50 states. NMLSConsumerAccess.org, number 3030.
Things got out of hand in Brazil's government when lawmakers voted to impeach the country's president. ABC's Claire Bauer has the details.
Pelo Brasil, voto sim, senhor presidente.
In a rowdy session broadcast live to the nation, Brazil's lower house members cast their votes one by one to boos and cheers. Many of those for impeachment held up signs reading "Bye Bye Dear," referring to President Dilma Rousseff, who now faces a possible trial on grounds she broke fiscal rules. It's not yet over for the president. Her party leaders say they'll take their fight to the courts and street. But if the Senate approves impeachment proceedings, President Rousseff could be suspended from office as soon as next month. Claire Bauer, ABC News, Rio de Janeiro, Brazil.
What is lemonade? The internet is alight with speculation about Beyonce's latest mysterious project. It began when she released a seconds-long video clip online, and the buzz got louder when she released a minute-long trailer featuring her in braids. Lemonade debuts this week on HBO. Karen Chase, ABC News.
Local news is brought to you by Shelton Health and Rehabilitation Center. Find them online at sheltonhealthandrehab.com.
From the iFIBER ONE Newsradio studios, I'm Marilyn Foster. Lake Boulevard paving begins tomorrow. Shelton City officials say the contractor will be installing pavement on Lake Boulevard between University Street and the city limits tomorrow through Friday, depending on weather. The asphalt must cool before traffic will be allowed to drive on it. During this time, there will be more trucks and crews on site than there has been to date. Driving lanes will be very narrow and congested with construction crews and equipment. Traffic flow and access to and from driveways could potentially be impacted for up to an hour. Please plan accordingly and avoid the area whenever possible, but especially from 7 a.m. through 7 p.m. Officials ask drivers to please be alert, obey all construction signs and flagging personnel directions for your safety. Mason County Public Utility District 3 is studying relocation of its North Mason Customer Service Office to the business core of Belfair. Annette Creekpalm, PUD3 manager, recently reported to the PUD commissioners that she's been weighing the advantage of having an office in the center of Belfair. The existing office is about 4 miles south of Belfair. Creekpalm said such a move would provide a stronger presence in the Belfair area, giving it easier access for customer services, a safer location for customers and staff, and a better location for engineering consultation. Nearly 1,000 customers per month visit the PUD's North Mason office to pay bills or conduct business with staff. As part of the evaluation, PUD3 staff will move forward in a search for available and suitable office space in Belfair that could accommodate the utility's customer service functions. PUD3 is also working on an internal reorganization regarding how it schedules and dispatches line crews. Beginning May 16th, all crews will initially report to the PUD3 Operations Center for assignments. That frees all line crews for assignment throughout the county, including the North Mason area. The utility expects that more efficient and coordinated operations will benefit all customers with equal or better service. Today is the deadline for submitting your personal tax returns. You got a couple extra days to file this year because the Internal Revenue Service observed a holiday on the 15th, Emancipation Day. It's observed on April 16th. However, because that fell on a Saturday, it was celebrated on the closest weekday, which was Friday. If you're going to wait until the last minute to file, be sure to check the final pickup times at mail drop-off boxes, and be sure to check how late your nearest post office will be open. Tax returns must be postmarked by midnight. For iFIBER ONE News Radio, 1030 KMAS and FM 103.3, I'm Mary Lynn Foster.
It's a new look to the Seattle Mariners. From the GM down, things have changed. One thing that hasn't changed is that we at iFIBER ONE News Radio are still your only South Sound home for the Seattle Mariners. The Mariners are brought to you in part by Desco AV, Arch Mechanical Services, the all-new Gillis Auto Center, and the Roof Doctor.
Ascend Roofing Company in Shelton's on top of it. 868-2730. Roofing work that speaks for itself.
Hey, just a little note to say thank you for the outstanding work that you, Dennis, and especially Jorge and the crew performed for us on our roofing project. On a scale of 1 to 10, we rate it at 10.5. It was a fantastic feeling from start to finish. Your company is a first-class operation and will definitely give your name to all of our friends and family if they're in need of your services.
You could be the next happy customer by calling Ascend Roofing. 868-2730.
Now from the all-new Gillis Auto Center Sports Desk, here's Sean Wells.
Freshman Manny Nicasio had 2 goals for Shelton as the High Climbers tied Capital on the pitch 3-3. All 6 goals in the contest were scored in the second half. Shelton Fast Pitch racked up another win, this time in non-league action, taking down Olympic 14-12. The High Climbers racked up 15 hits in the contest. Natalie Albaugh finished 2 for 5 with a home run and 3 RBIs for Shelton. The Seattle Sounders picked up a much-needed home win, knocking off the Philadelphia Union 2-1. Hometown rookie Jordan Morris scored his first career goal as a Sounder in the 71st minute. The Seattle Mariners dropped a tough one to the Yankees on Sunday 4-3. It was just the 12th matchup in MLB history between two Japanese-born starting pitchers, with Hisashi Iwakuma going up against Masahiro Tanaka. With the game tied at 3 in the bottom of the 5th, Brett Gardner scored on a wild pitch, putting the Yankees on top for good. However, the Mariners did start the road trip on a positive note, taking 2 of 3 from the Yankees. For iFIBER ONE News Radio, I'm Sean Wells.
Plenty of sunshine with highs reaching the low to mid 80s. The warm weather continues through midweek. Then we cool down a bit, but these next 2 days are going to be awesome.
I like it.
Right now it's 45.
Now, from the iFIBER ONE News Radio studios, it's Daybreak. Providing local news, sports, weather, and interviews to the South Sound's most important people. You. From business leaders to politicians, from activists for change to advocates for the poor, your neighbors and newsmakers are here on Daybreak.
Well, good morning to you. It's 6:10 iFIBER ONE News Radio on a Monday morning here. 18th National Park Week. Good morning to you, Carol. How are you doing?
Good morning. I'm doing great. Good
Wonderful.
Weekend?
Wow. Great weekend. You could do it at a hop. You could do it at a gallop.
Mm-hmm.
You could do it nice and slow so your heart don't palpitate. Just don't be late.
Do they still use it?
I don't think so, because you can't say, do the Washington State Fair.
Yeah, exactly.
Do the plural.
So you're a warm weather aficionado?
I am a fair aficionado. I'll go to the spring fair, fall fair, winter fair, put a fair on, I'll be there.
All right.
And
that could be a theme song. That might be a little put a fair on here. Well, that's, I guess.
I go to every fair, man. I go to every fair. Spring fair was this weekend, wrapped up, and it was a beautiful day up there in Puyallup. And Kaiser and Stephanie and I went up there with our friends, the McGlamrys, and their young son, Reese, who's the same age. And those dock dogs, the running dogs who jump into the water for distance.
Mm-hmm.
I wish. I'm just sitting there watching, waning, hoping, pining, whatever the word is, that my dogs would do something like that.
Yeah.
Simon and
it's all about
training
and time.
Got, of course, my baker's dozen of scones.
Mm-hmm. You have to eat them right there, though.
Oh no, we save them, and they go. Kaiser loved his scone. It was a great fair, and then the rest of the weekend to work in the yard. What about you? Anything good?
Worked in the yard mainly. Just I'm on this spring cleaning fling, and then I have plants, indoor plants that come in during the winter. Then I move them out in the spring, summer.
Oh,
so
really?
Got those moved out, so my house has a lot more room. And I was outside. I'm like, I need to get that. And all of a sudden, I'm pulling weeds, and I'm up to my elbows in mud. And dirt, and it was fun.
6:12 here at iFIBER ONE News Radio. National Parks Week is this week, and Mark Ziegler is coming in with us to talk about the parks in Shelton between 8:15 and 8:30. Also, from the Shelton Parks to the ballpark, it's a Mariners Monday Trivia Contest today. We'll have that for you coming up as well. Tell you how to win right after this break on Daybreak.
You're listening to Daybreak on iFIBER ONE News Radio.
It's that time of year again for Seattle Mariners baseball, and iFIBER ONE News Radio is the only station to carry the Mariners in the South Sound. Be part of the team and advertise your business on iFIBER ONE News Radio's coverage of the Mariners broadcast every day this season. Summertime in the Northwest means people traveling to enjoy outdoor activities and listening to the Mariners while camping, fishing, and boating. And the only place to listen to the Mariners around Puget Sound is on iFIBER ONE News Radio. Your business should be part of the Mariners broadcast each day to hit one of the biggest listening audiences in radio. Choose from packages that get you on every game or every inning of over 150 games this season. Call the sales team at iFIBER One News Radio today at 360-426-1030 or email us at sales@ifiberone.com and sign up to be part of the great season of Mariners baseball.
Did you ever look at the stains in your coffee cup and then realize that's exactly what happens to your teeth? Power Swabs is the 5-minute solution to get your teeth white without visiting the dentist. This is John Greenhut, the CEO of Power Swabs. And if your teeth are stained from coffee, tea, or smoking, all it takes is 5 minutes with Power Swabs. In 5 minutes, you'll see an average of 2 shades whiter teeth, and in 7 days, 6 shades. It's clinically proven to whiten natural teeth as well as caps and veneers. The secret is a tooth detergent that was developed by Dr. Martin Ginniger that lifts stains off of your teeth. Best of all, there's no messy strips or trays that you have to leave in your mouth for an hour. Just swab your teeth for 5 minutes and you're done. To try Paraswabs risk-free, call 1-800-928-7113. That's 1-800-928-7113. I guarantee your bright white smile will have your friends, family, and coworkers talking about how great you look. Try it risk-free today. 1-800-928-7113. That's 1-800-928-7113.
iFIBER One News Radio, 1030 KMAS and FM 103.3 presents Daybreak.
Well, good morning to you. 6:15 on a Monday morning. It's the 18th of April. Jeff and Carol here on Daybreak. Morning.
Morning.
Marilyn Foster has some news coming up in about 15 minutes. The Lake Boulevard Pioneer Way Improvement Project update starting tomorrow, and the weather will hold for this. The installation of pavement on Lake Boulevard between University Street and the city limits. Additionally, the Public Utility District 3 studying a possible relocation, and also they're talking about how they dispatch line crews. And
I have my envelope in my purse, ready to mail.
You still haven't done anything?
It's the 18th. I can wait till the end, right? I mean, that's the whole idea.
No, you're right. And we'll talk about this morning the post offices that are open until midnight. Traditionally, it had been a huge thing and a lot of fun. And now I think in Detroit, there's only one in the whole city of Detroit that stays open until midnight. And we'll see if there's any around at least the South Sound that stays open.
Well, I'm ready to go. I don't need to wait till midnight.
But if you're, I guess you got to get up tomorrow. I was going to say, you might as well get going and
yeah, but what if I went to the wrong mailbox?
Oh, yeah, and they weren't there.
Huh? I'm mailing it today, so I get off work.
Put my postmarked by today. Tacoma Mayor Marilyn Strickland says her recent trip to Asia was meant to boost foreign investments in the city. But critics say it shows that she supports a Chinese company's proposal for a methanol plant at the port of Tacoma. The News Tribune reports Strickland took the city-funded trip to Vietnam and China earlier this month. She says she spent time with Chinese government officials and investors who are considering supporting developmental projects in Tacoma. But residents at a city council meeting last week criticized Strickland for the visit, saying it shows she's siding with the Chinese company behind a proposed methanol facility at the port. She says the project wasn't discussed during her 8-day trip. Investors are currently backing a $275 million in development projects in Tacoma's downtown, where over the weekend, Carol, wasn't there a big fire?
Yeah, a big fire destroyed a warehouse and injured 3 firefighters. That was early Sunday morning. The fire started about 1 a.m. in a former Tacoma Steelworkers building and consumed nearly an entire city block. The firefighters said the blaze was so intense it melted the structure's steel beams.
Whoa.
The former warehouse was being used as a parking garage, and the station says that 3 firefighters were treated at the scene for minor injuries.
Last week or 2 weeks ago, we talked to you about how, you may know this name, Colton Harris Moore, otherwise known as AKA the Barefoot Bandit. He was in the news. He says, I'm not going to get out of jail before my mom dies of cancer. Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Well, the former teenage car, boat, and plane thief who became known as the Barefoot Bandit wants to cryogenically freeze his dying mother. The 25-year-old told the Daily Herald in a telephone interview that he's trying to raise enough money through crowdfunding to pay for the unusual procedure for his mom. Colton Harris Moore hopes that his mother, Pamela Holler, could one day be brought back to life. He is serving a 6-year prison sentence at the Stafford Creek Corrections Center.
Interesting.
You ever thought about this? Deep freeze, you heard about this? There's always rumors that Walt Disney was frozen.
Yeah, I mean...
Ted Williams.
I don't know. I mean...
It works?
I hope not. Because why would you be trapped in your body waiting around for somebody to defreeze you?
Would there be some consciousness going on?
Well, that's what I mean. I mean, if you leave your body and go wherever, why would you want to hang around Earth waiting for somebody to defreeze you for 200 years or until we got the technology?
Sure. I know that animals and like fish and stuff like that in the Midwest or wherever lakes freeze over, they'll freeze.
Yeah, that's a winter.
And then, well, it's just a long winter. Oh, no.
I don't know. I think I'd rather be doing something different than waiting around for somebody to defreeze me.
But that's assuming that you have some form of consciousness that you can see. You're just gonna...
Well, you wouldn't. Yeah, I don't know. I find it interesting.
You're listening to Daybreak on iFIBER ONE News Radio.
PUD3 says all of us can pick up litter. All of us can leave the land better than we found it. During Countdown to Earth Day, let's all dedicate ourselves to making this a better world. This reminder brought to you by PUD3.
It's not too late to help clean up the environment. Castle and Coleman Logging says it's simple. Join or help organize a cleanup or restoration project in your neighborhood, school, youth group, church, or workplace. This Countdown to Earth Day tip is brought to you by Castle and Coleman Logging.
I feel right at home on JohnLScott.com.
Hi, this is Dawn Pinnell from John L. Scott Real Estate here in Shelton. For a while now, I have been saying welcome home and sharing with you some great listings and some hopefully educational and interesting items of riveting radio real estate topics.
Don Pinnell's Radio Real Estate every other Friday at 8:45 on iFIBER ONE News Radio, AM 1030 and FM 1033.
I would love to help you say, I'm home.
Hi, I'm Ken Slater, the Roof Doctor. If you're like me, your family's important, so make sure that they're well taken care of. One of the best ways to do that is to provide a safe and warm home to live in. For over 50 years, the Roof Doctor has been helping families stay safe and warm by building roofs that last for generations. Our teams have some of the most experienced roofers in the area, and we only use the highest quality materials to keep your family safe, warm, and dry. That's the Roof Doctor. Give us a call.
Hi, this is Terry Allen with a look at the community calendar on iFIBER ONE News Radio. Nonprofits post your events on iFIBER1NewsRadio.com. Every Tuesday is Senior and Military Discount Day at Nifty Thrifty in downtown Shelton. Members of military and seniors get 15% off every Tuesday. All proceeds go to support the Mason County Senior Activities Center. Nifty Thrifty is at 826 West Railroad Avenue. For iFIBER ONE News Radio, I'm Terry Allen.
iFIBER ONE News Radio, 1030 KMAS and FM 1033 presents Daybreak.
.622 on a Monday morning, and a good morning to you. Jeff and Carol on Daybreak. Want to let you know about today's sports schedule for Shelton. Varsity baseball taking on Henry Foss at Foss High School. And fast pitch taking on Mount Tahoma at Mount Tahoma. Both those games are at 4 today. I had a lot of fun yesterday at St. Martin's for the Lady Saints softball game. They were taking on Central it was senior day. It was my first time doing the softball game, and I got the opportunity to do senior day. So, did the starting lineups for both squads. And then
senior...
It's the last home game of the season. So the last time the seniors will be in front of the home crowd.
Okay. So sometimes when you say seniors, I think, people my age.
Nah. Well, these are seniors in college.
Okay.
And so I'm out there, making my announcements and addressing everyone. And boy, what a great time. And so much energy during the games is it softball, fast pitch, I guess, here for the high school. And I mean, they're like clapping their people names every time. And it was fast paced. It was a lot of fun. Car almost got hit by a couple of fouls.
Seriously?
Oh, yeah. It was right there.
Oh.
I did move the car. I parked it and I had a premonition. I don't know about this spot. And I feel like the car that pulled in got hit. You ever done that? You've done something and then you've had the premonition.
Yep.
Go, maybe I should do something different. And then something happens.
Yeah.
Pretty amazing.
Good to listen to yourself.
6:23. It is tax day here today. Many places used to be open until midnight.
While there are some post offices open until midnight, fewer and fewer are available this year. In Detroit, only one post office will remain open later, and that's until 10 p.m. Detroit's postmaster Darren Bray saying in a release that while they expect heavy traffic flow today, they are not expecting it to be as hectic as previous years. One reason, more people have been filing online. A Washington, D.C. holiday also pushed back the tax day deadline 3 days. Ryan Burrow, ABC News.
All right, thanks, Ryan. And Carol has some other tips for taxes.
I do, and some people are saying, well, if you can't get an extension, what's the point of getting an extension if you have to pay anyways? But on the other hand is don't try to hide. If you don't have the money to pay, they're not going to not notice you. So don't try to slip through the cracks.
Because, hold on, before we go any further, let me ask you this question.
I may be able to answer it.
The employers, our bosses,
right?
They send in paperwork with our socials and all of our numbers. So when the IRS goes to go, okay, here's company A, and they have employee Carol, but employee Carol hasn't done anything yet. I mean, of course they're going to find you, no?
I mean, as long as you're in the system, but most of us are. I mean, it's better to call and establish a relationship with somebody in the IRS and say, hey, this is what's going on. I mean, you're still going to have to pay. You'll probably get fined, but at least they know that you are trying. So you should, submit your return today no matter what, and then try to create a relationship, because you don't want them to come look for you and audit you, because that would be even worse.
AP saying 5 million possible returns just today.
Wow. But when you start to do this, watch out for scams, because somebody's going to call you and say, hey, on the off chance that they're going to catch somebody that hasn't filed their taxes or is having problems, and you're being desperate because you haven't done what you're supposed to do. And you might go, oh, this sounds like a great deal. Well, if it sounds really good, it's probably too good to be true. So watch out for that.
Well, good luck. I'm glad that you're getting them in above board here today.
Oh, yeah. It's all ready to go.
Did you hear Brandon Browner's coming back to the Seahawks?
Oh,
cornerback Brandon Browner, member of the Legion of Boom from 2011 to 2013, returning to the team. He was discharged last year, 2 years ago, something like that. The marijuana, I think, was the big problem.
Oh.
Anyways, he left and put a big hole in the Legion of Boom. Well, he's coming back. They signed a year contract with him, so that's kind of good stuff. So Seahawks and NFL are always in the news. Moving, though, to the round ball. Mariners trivia today. Listen for Sean Wells' sports report. He has a key factoid in there. You're going to want to listen, coming up in 3 or 6 minutes or so after Mary Lynn. And he'll have the information you need. Then, between 8:15 and 8:30, as we're either starting in the middle or wrapping our conversation with Mark Ziegler about the parks here in the city of Shelton, we're going to play the Mariners theme music. We're going to open up the phone lines, 360-462-1041. And between 8:15 and 8:30, when the Mariners theme music gets on the air, you call the number I just mentioned, 360-462-1041. And if you're the first person who can correctly answer the question, the answer is in Sean's sports report.
Yeah, it's easy as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Music, question, call, answer, win.
Okay. Look at that. That's great. So we will be giving away tickets to the April 30th game against the Kansas City Royals. And, oh, by the way, it is a big Boomstick Bobblehead Night, Nelson Cruz Bobblehead Night. So that's coming up at between 8:15 and 8:30 there, that 8:15 segment of the show right here on iFIBER One News Radio. Continue to offer up news of notes for tax day. Also in Olympia, Carol, hundreds to about 200 people turned out for a Saturday afternoon rally at the state capitol to encourage superdelegates to vote for Bernie Sanders at the Democratic Convention. Sanders won most of the votes during the March Democratic caucuses. I believe it was like 70%. But most of the state's 17 superdelegates, and these are elected officials and party leaders who aren't bound to vote based on the caucuses, say they'll support Clinton. Now, the Tribune newspaper reports people at the rally held signs saying things like, it's not democracy if you choose for us, and we want democracy for our superdelegates.
Yeah, but other people are voting for Clinton, so it is democracy.
Right. I think the reasoning was that a majority of the people, so we would have to go and look and see, for example, Derek Kilmer, who we talk with. He is a superdelegate because he's in the Congress. He's pledged himself to Clinton. We talked about that last time we had him on the air. But we'll have to see where if his area, the 6th, if they overwhelmingly went for Bernie, then should the case be made that he go for Bernie?
Well, I think that we all should have just voted similar to, or the
way the Republicans do it?
Yeah, I think the Democrats.
You're listening to Daybreak on iFIBER One News Radio.
It is.
Local news is brought to you by Fred Holmes Tree Service. FredHolmesTreeService.com, 427-4489.
From the iFIBER One News Radio studios, I'm Marilyn Foster. Lake Boulevard paving begins tomorrow. Shelton City officials say the contractor will be installing pavement on Lake Boulevard between University Street and the city limits tomorrow through Friday, depending on weather. The asphalt must cool before traffic will be allowed to drive on it. During this time, there will be more trucks and crews on site than there has been to date. Driving lanes will be very narrow and congested with construction crews and equipment. Traffic flow and access to and from driveways could potentially be impacted for up to an hour. Please plan accordingly and avoid the area whenever possible, but especially from 7 a.m. through 7 p.m. Officials ask drivers to please be alert, obey all construction signs and flagging personnel directions for your safety. Mason County Public Utility District 3 is studying relocation of its North Mason Customer Service Office to the business core of Belfair. Annette Creekpalm, PUD3 manager, recently reported to the PUD commissioners that she's been weighing the advantage of having an office in the center of Belfair. The existing office is about 4 miles south of Belfair. Creekpalm said such a move would provide a stronger presence in the Belfair area, giving it easier access for customer services, a safer location for customers and staff, and a better location for engineering consultation. Nearly 1,000 customers per month visit the PUD's North Mason office to pay bills or conduct business with staff. As part of the evaluation, PUD3 staff will move forward in a search for available and suitable office space in Belfair that could accommodate the utility's customer service functions. PUD3 is also working on an internal reorganization regarding how it schedules and dispatches line crews. Beginning May 16th, all crews will initially report to the PUD3 Operations Center for assignments. That frees all line crews for assignment throughout the county, including the North Mason area. The utility expects that more efficient and coordinated operations will benefit all customers with equal or better service. Today is the deadline for submitting your personal tax returns. You got a couple extra days to file this year because the Internal Revenue Service observed a holiday on the 15th, Emancipation Day. It's observed on April 16th. However, because that fell on a Saturday, it was celebrated on the closest weekday, which was Friday. If you're going to wait until the last minute to file, be sure to check the final pickup times at mail drop-off boxes, and be sure to check how late your nearest post office will be open. Tax returns must be postmarked by midnight. For iFIBER One News Radio, 1030 KMAS and FM 103.3, I'm Mary Lynn Foster.
Gillis Auto Center in Shelton. Best deals, best price, best trade, and low payments. Truck Month continues at family-owned Gillis Auto Center with our entire truck inventory discounted for this event. Ford F-Series, best-selling vehicle in America. Huge rebates, great selection from half-ton on up. Gas, diesel, 2 or 4-wheel drive. Huge savings up to $10,000. Just go to Gillis. The all-new Gillis Auto Center in Shelton. City Center Matlock exit and 24/7 at GillisAutoCenter.com.
Road to the title underway. Hi, everybody. I'm Dave Packer reporting on sports. NBA playoff action in full swing this weekend with the Cavaliers hoping to set the tone in their first-round series against the Pistons.
LeBron to the paint, off the Love for a corner three. He got it! Kevin Love now has 28 points, and the Cavaliers have taken a 94-90 lead.
John Michael on WTAM. Kevin Love's 28 points helped the Cavs escape a potential upset, coming from behind to beat the Pistons 106-101 in South Beach.
Whoever will take a timeline and over, just hold on. And what a great performance by Miami to open up the postseason with this lopsided victory over the Charlotte Hornets.
On the Miami Heat Radio Network, Luol Deng puts up 31, and the Heat walk all over the Hornets 123-91. Western Conference Game 1 matchups. The Spurs squashed the Grizzlies 106-74. And the Clippers handled the Trailblazers 115-95. On the ice, it was bedlam in Brooklyn.
Nelson in the slot for Hickey. Shoots and scores! Thomas Hickey has won it in overtime for the New York Islanders. They win it 4-3.
Chris King on WRHU-FM. Thomas Hickey's Game 3 heroics give the Islanders a 2-1 series lead against the Panthers. The Blues rallied to score 2 third-period goals and beat the Blackhawks in Chicago 2-1 in favor of St. Louis. The Red Wings blanked the Lightning 2-0. Tampa Bay still holds a 2-1 advantage in that series. And the Predators edge past the Ducks 3-2, winning the first 2 games in the series. To baseball, where the Phillies brought the Nationals back down to earth.
Swung on and punched to left. It's pretty well hit. Worth going back to the corner. He won't get it. Yeah. It's off the base of the wall. Blanco scores. Galvis wins it. The Phillies beat Papelbon and the Nationals.
The call on WIP, the walk-off win puts an end to the Nats' 7-game winning streak. Pirates on top of the Brewers 9-3, Cardinals 4, Reds 3. Dave Packer, ABC Sports.
iFIBER ONE News Radio wants to take this time to thank the sponsors of Mariners Baseball who help bring the games to you on AM 1030 and FM 103.3. You can show your appreciation by supporting our local advertisers who bring you Mariners Baseball in the South Sound. When you support our local sponsors, you are supporting our local communities. More Mariner Baseball is on the way from iFIBER ONE News Radio.
Now from the all-new Gillis Auto Center Sports Desk, here's Sean Wells.
Freshman Manny Nicasio had 2 goals for Shelton as the High Climbers tied Capital on the pitch 3-3. All 6 goals in the contest were scored in the second half. Shelton fast pitch racked up another win, this time in non-league action, taking down Olympic 14-12. The High Climbers racked up 15 hits in the contest. Natalie Albaugh finished 2 for 5 with a home run and 3 RBIs for Shelton. The Seattle Sounders picked up a much-needed home win, knocking off the Philadelphia Union 2-1. Hometown rookie Jordan Morris scored his first career goal as a Sounder in the 71st minute. The Seattle Mariners dropped a tough one to the Yankees on Sunday 4-3. It was just the 12th matchup in MLB history between 2 Japanese-born starting pitchers, with Hisashi Iwakuma going up against Masahiro Tanaka. With the game tied at 3 in the bottom of the 5th, Brett Gardner scored on a wild pitch, putting the Yankees on top for good. However, the Mariners did start the road trip on a positive note, taking 2 of 3 from the Yankees. For iFIBER ONE News Radio, I'm Sean Wells.
Good morning, it's 6:40 and I'm Carol Gardner, and it's another beautiful day today. Plenty of sunshine with highs reaching the low 80s, and it's going to continue through tomorrow. Then cool down a bit at the end of the week, but get out there right now. Right now? Yeah, I would. I mean, it's just beautiful out. There might be a little bit of clouds in the sky, but it's just going to clear up. I mean, it's just
Gonna be a nice day.
going to be a very nice day. But I just want to mention that the pollen count is very high in sycamore, birch, and cedar. Some people really have their eyes just get puffy and they can't breathe with these tree pollens.
That's how mine is with Scotch broom. That's probably my worst, the culprit right there.
Right now it's 45.
Now, from the iFIBER One News Radio studios, it's Daybreak. Providing local news, sports, weather, and interviews to the South Sound's most important people. You, from business leaders to politicians, from activists for change to advocates for the poor. Your neighbors and newsmakers are here on Daybreak.
Good morning. It is 6:38 at iFIBER One News Radio. Jeff and Carol here on Daybreak, and Mark Ziegler's coming in at 8:15 to start our conversation about National Park Week, and we're going to focus on the parks here in the city of Shelton. Also, today we've got Mariners Monday between 8:15 and 8:30, and Sean Wells just had his sports report, and in there was the clue and the answer to the question that we'll ask you for when the Mariners theme music comes on. Also at 8:45, Lynn Longan from the Mason County Economic Development Council. Last night at about 9:30, there was a motorcycle fatality 2 miles east of Allen on State Route 302. Jason Lee Frauschenau, 36 of Gig Harbor, was on a Honda VT 750 heading west on State Route 302, failed to make the curve and left the roadway. Cause is under investigation, and we are monitoring the various law enforcement outlets for more information when we get that information. Other stories that we're talking about this morning: the Lake Boulevard Pioneer Way improvements start tomorrow. The weather's going to be perfect for it, so there'll be plenty of installation of pavement going on. We've been talking about the Tacoma mayor after a funded trip to Asia, city-funded trip to Asia. Some of the citizenry in Tacoma taking exception of that. Also, big fire in Tacoma over the weekend. Barefoot Bandit has a request for his mother and has put out a crowdfunding website for that help, and
to raise money for anything.
Additionally, the Alaska Way Viaduct, Carol, is going to be closed for 2 weeks starting in about 10 days. And of course, it will be a huge problem throughout the region. It's tax day, and as we mentioned, Mariners trivia throughout the day today. We'll take a break right now. When we come back after living the country life, we'll tell you about some of those stories from the Associated Press and more. There's a razor clam dig that begins on Wednesday. All those stories and more right here on Daybreak.
You're listening to Daybreak on iFIBER One News Radio.
Mountain View Women's Health has great advice if you're planning on a new baby. Prepare early. A healthy baby has the best start when mom is in good health. Regular exercise, a healthy body weight, and good diet is the best foundation for a healthy baby and pregnancy. Choosing your obstetrician is important too. Mountain View Women's Health has board-certified obstetrician gynecologists and physician assistants to expertly guide you through your pregnancy. Coordinating with the Birth Center at Mason General Hospital for excellent continuity care. Have your baby close to home. Call Mountain View Women's Health for a consultation today, 426-0955.
Mountain View Women's Health is part of Mason General Hospital and family of clinics. Equal opportunity provider. Translation services provided.
Mason General and family of clinics.
Mornings start with Daybreak on iFIBER One News Radio. Join Jeff and Carol weekdays from 6 to 9 on AM 1030 and FM 1033, KMAS Shelton.
Collecting water in rain barrels is great for watering the garden. Wildlife will appreciate it too. Hi, I'm Jody Henke. A rainwater collection system will help birds and other wild things thrive as you're living the country life.
Brought to you by Kubota. From transporting family and friends to hauling more cargo, Kubota's RTV X1140 utility vehicle allows you to do more. Visit Kubota.com for details.
The challenge of creating beautiful landscapes is made easier with the help of Kubota's Commander residential zero-turn mower. Engineered to provide excellent maneuverability, high efficiency, and a superior cut, Kubota's Commander is the perfect choice for those seeking a professional-grade mower at a competitive price point. What are you waiting for? Visit your local Kubota dealer to explore the possibilities and take advantage of low-rate, long-term financing going on now. We are Kubota. This is what we do.
Need new ideas for what to do around your place? Register for a free Living the Country Life newsletter. Once a week, you'll receive helpful tips on key topics such as landscaping, animals and poultry, outdoor improvement projects, recreational activities, and much more. The newsletter delivers the latest trends, alerts you to informational courses, shares what other people are doing on their properties, and provides details about exciting sweepstakes and other contests. Sign up for your free newsletter today by visiting livingthecountrylife.com.
I have a bird bath that I keep filled with water year-round. I'm rewarded with all kinds of birds coming to my backyard. Even squirrels enjoy a drink. Larger wildlife, such as deer, would also benefit from having water available when it's hard to find. Dottie Woodson is a water resources program specialist at Texas A&M University. She says setting up a rainwater collection system could be as simple as a rain barrel or as elaborate as a 500-gallon tank. It depends on the acreage you have and the type and amount of wildlife you want to attract. For many landowners, a setup she calls the wildlife guzzler is a good start.
You would create an artificial frame and put a roof on that. I usually use galvanized tin, and then I put the cistern underneath that. I make it high at one end and low at the other end. At the low end, I put guttering and then a downspout that would take the water directly into the cistern. At the bottom of the cistern, I would have an outlet where I could put an irrigation dripper that would drip into the basin where the animals could come up and drink.
Woodson also advises putting a filter on the downspout to prevent leaves and other debris from going into the cistern. A logical area to place the system would be where wildlife cross your property. She set one up for her brother after a deer died crossing a fence trying to get to water on the other side.
We built him a 2-rain barrel wildlife guzzler, and he now has more deer on his property than he's ever had. Find an area like my brother's front porch. He could sit there, and with binoculars, he could look over at his wildlife guzzler and watch the animals without scaring them.
You'll find more information on rainwater collection systems for wildlife at livingthecountrylife.com. I'll see you in the country.
Living the Country Life. Ideas and inspiration for your place in the country. You can find more information on today's topic, share your tips, and post photos by visiting us online.
iFIBER ONE News Radio, 1030 KMAS and FM 103.3 presents Daybreak.
Good morning. It's about 6:45. It's going to be a beautiful day today. Highs in the mid-80s. I'm Carol Gardner along with Jeff Slake.
Hello.
Good morning on Daybreak, and you can listen to us on AM 1030 or FM 103.3. You can see us on iFiber1newsradio.com. You can also follow us on Facebook at 1030/KMAS and follow us on Twitter at iFiber1Radio. And we have some stories from around the region. Something that happened over the weekend. Authorities in Snohomish County say they now believe a couple missing from Arlington have been killed. They're asking for the public's help in tracking 2 suspects, John and Patrick Reed. The detectives have tied the brothers to the disposal of the missing couple's 2 vehicles in the search for Patrick Shunn and his wife Monique. Patronaut began after their vehicles were found in a wooded area of Oso on Thursday. Snohomish County Sheriff Ty Trenery says the 2 families lived nearby and were involved in some kind of property dispute. He says anyone who has seen either of the Reed brothers should call 911 and not approach them. They're considered armed and dangerous. Authorities found a vehicle that belonged to John Reed in Ellensburg on Saturday, but their current location is unknown.
The Alaskan Way Viaduct on Seattle's waterfront set to close for 2 weeks starting on April 29th. 2 weeks closure, the viaduct starting April 29th. Resulting traffic will reverberate throughout the region. DOT said on Friday the viaduct will be closed between the South Spokane Street and the south end of the Battery Street Tunnel. Closure is necessary because State Route 99 tunneling machine known as Bertha will begin dinging underneath the roadway near Yesler Way. Transportation officials expect the closure will cause widespread traffic, similar to when the viaduct was closed for 9 days way back in 2011. State posting more information about the viaduct closure at 99closure.com. Boy, that's going to be a mess,
Mm-hmm.
especially as the summer season comes up. We got the Sounders are in full effect. The Mariners are in full effect. Hoo-wee!
Well, if you want to get away from it all,
Yeah.
state shellfish managers have approved a 9-day razor clam dig beginning on Long Beach and later expanding to Mocrox and Copalis. The clam dig on ocean beaches begins Wednesday on Long Beach, and the beach at Mocrox is added Saturday, and Copalis will be added on April 25. The Washington Department of Fish and Wildlife approved the digs after marine toxin tests showed the clams on those beaches are safe to eat. They recommend that you arrive at the beaches an hour or two before low tide for the best results. Digging is not allowed on any beach after noon. And under state law, diggers are required to keep the first 15 clams they find no matter what. And each digger's clams must be kept in separate containers. You have to be 15 or older and have a fishing license, currently 2016-2017, to harvest clams.
7 o'clock brings us ABC News.
I'm Sherry Preston, ABC News. A weekend of heavy rain, 16 inches around Texas. It's led to numerous water rescues in the state. We'll tell you one of them that was caught on live TV coming up.
Wow. Lots of rain.
Mm-hmm.
We are very fortunate now. This next week is looking super good here in the South Sound.
Yes, it is.
Mid-80s, you're saying?
For a few days.
State officials say a shrimping boat sinking near ocean shores. Concern now about a possible fuel leak. Boat has about 3,000 gallons of fuel on board, says Cairo TV. The DOE, Department of Ecology, says 3 people were rescued from the boat and the captain of the vessel is in the hospital. Salvage crew expected to recover the vehicle later in the weekend. And state officials, they saw no sign of a fuel spill as of noon on Saturday.
And one man was shot to death at a Puyallup motel on Saturday morning. The Seattle Times reports the 26-year-old victim had a gunshot wound to the chest and died at Northwest Motor Inn. Police detained a 25-year-old man who left the scene in a vehicle and returned while police were investigating. Police say the victim was shot during a dispute, likely over narcotics, in the motel room where several people had gathered. Several witnesses were taken to the police department for questioning.
6:50 here. I'll take a break here from the Old Farmer's Almanac. Mary Lynn Foster's news is coming up at 7:04. Lake Boulevard Pioneer Way improvements get underway tomorrow. The Public Utility District 3 studying possible relocation in Belfair and how they are dispatching line crews is another topic Mary Lynn discusses. And it's tax day. We'll have all those stories, some more tax tips for you coming up on Daybreak. It's iFIBER ONE News Radio and Mariners Monday. Between 8:15 and 8:30, we'll tell you how and when you can win here on Daybreak.
You're listening to Daybreak on iFIBER ONE News Radio.
A certain brood of insects has been waiting 17 years to emerge this spring. We've got the cicada forecast for 2016 today from the Old Farmer's Almanac. With more practical tips and useful advice, this is the Old Farmer's Almanac radio report for Monday, April 18th, the 109th day of the year. Conan O'Brien celebrates a birthday, and the mythic midnight ride of Paul Revere was on this night in 1775. 17-year cicadas are set to emerge this year in parts of the eastern U.S. Brood number 5, which is concentrated in eastern Ohio and parts of West Virginia, Pennsylvania, and New York, will be making its presence heard once the ground is sufficiently warm, most likely sometime in June. Like clockwork, tens of thousands of the insects will emerge after 17 years to breed the next generation. They're generally harmless, so it's not hard to put up with them for a few weeks. They've been waiting for their time in the sun, after all, since the Clinton administration. That is the Old Farmer's Almanac radio report. Learn more at almanac.com.
iFIBER ONE News Radio, 1030 KMAS and FM 103.3 presents Daybreak.
6:52 here on a Monday. I almost wore shorts today. I would encourage anybody, if
I wore shorts
applicable.
yesterday. It was so nice out outside.
It's a weekend. I would encourage anyone, if applicable. It is definitely shorts weather.
And sandals.
And sandals.
I got to get my toes done before I put sandals on.
Well, nobody sees my toes because I wear my socks with my sandals.
Oh, boy.
6:52 here at iFIBER ONE News Radio. ESPN had the Food City 500, little NASCAR action for you.
And Peyton Manning was the honorary race official, Carol. He's now retired quarterback, Peyton Manning. He says the offseason, he had a good offseason and was pretty happy with this decision he made.
It's only the second off season I've ever started in a good mood after winning the Super Bowl, and it's been a fun off season. Obviously, I've stopped playing, but I still feel I still am allowed to be a Super Bowl champion for another couple of months, and that's a good feeling.
And on whether or not the decision was right?
It just felt like the right time. Physically, I had some things that were, just sort of changing the way that I was playing and the way that we finished. Just felt like I left it all out there on the field and maybe couldn't give that same production anymore.
6:53 at iFIBER One News Radio. So Peyton's enjoying the retired life. Out there is the Seahawks schedule, and the rest of the NFL schedule was released last week. And, they always have that rematch game between the last Super Bowl victors, and a totally different feel because Peyton's not going to be there. People are not even sure who really the quarterback is going to be for the Denver Broncos. At 8:15 this morning, we will start the conversation with Mark Ziegler about Parks and Rec for National Park Week, talking about the city's parks. There's a bunch of them. You may not know where they are or all the great amenities that they have. We'll fix that today with Mark Ziegler at 8:15. And also sometime in that segment before the news at 8:30, we'll open up the phone lines, 360-462-1041, play the Mariners theme music, and we'll get in on the winning. Somebody's going to win a pair of tickets to an upcoming Mariners game today, Carol.
Yeah, what was the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? Mariners music, question, answer the question. No, wait, I missed one spot. Call in, answer the question, and then win tickets, something. 5
easy steps that we're trying to
making it easy
determine this
as long
morning.
as you know the answer.
Sean Wells' Sports Report at 7:10 or so, just after Mary Lynn's news. We'll have the information in it you need to win. And we're opening up the phone lines at 8:15 to 8:30, 462-1041. First person that gets in with the right answer wins.
Right. It's easy as that.
Nice and
easy as pie.
CNBC Business Radio Report is coming up. One of the most amazing pieces of environmental news over the last couple of years has got to be the Elwha River. And they're in the news again.
They are. 5 years after the project began, workers are getting ready to install the final pieces of the Elwha River Interpretive Center, if I can say interpretive. The project will also be at a rest stop on Highway 112, will mark the $325 million dam removal and restoration of the Elwha River. The center will cost $145,000 to construct. It includes 24 information panels inside a 30-foot by 30-foot wooden structure. They describe in words and pictures the history of the Elwha River, the dam removal, and the restoration of the waterway. The center is a collaboration of the Scenic Byway Association, the National Park Service, and the Lower Elwha Clallam Tribe. The project will begin with a grand opening on May 1st.
6:57, it's now a recovery effort for rescuers in South Japan after back-to-back earthquakes. ABC's Matt Gutman reports from the hard-hit town of Mashiki.
And as Japan tries to recover, what has been so apparent here is the cutoff in logistics. It's very hard to get food or material back into these earthquake zones because the highways have been severed by the earthquakes. So what we're finding is that stores are open. In some cases, there is electricity, there is running water, but the shelves here are empty.
Just amazing. How many? There was 3 above 6 earthquakes this weekend, wasn't there?
Yeah.
2 in Japan and 1 in
Ecuador.
Oh, my goodness.
And that death count has risen to 350. It just came out on the Twitter feed. So that's crazy. But the second earthquake in Japan, the aftershock was bigger than the original earthquake.
So is that what they're saying, that second one was just an aftershock of the initial, but it was a 6.7 or something?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, since there was one, then there's a second. I guess that's what they call an aftershock, unless it's just like a brand. I mean, I don't know, but it was just, it was... I don't know. They're still so unsettled over there, so it's a tough going for everybody.
All part of the ring of fire that
we are part of here in
Yes,
the Great
we are.
Northwest. Cascadia Rising earthquake drill coming up this June out at the Port of Shelton. We are working on our own emergency plans in case of the event.
It's not if.
It's when. That's right, Carol. It's the NBC Business Radio.
You're listening to Daybreak on iFIBER ONE News Radio.
John Lisher, CNBC Radio. The Dow is now up by 16 points, but the Nasdaq is still down 13. Stocks are being dragged lower by falling energy prices. Oil is down 3% after a meeting of oil producers failed to agree on a production freeze. Chevron has dropped 2%. Exxon has slipped 1%. Morgan Stanley is up 2% after its quarterly profit beat estimates. Pepsi is reporting a better than expected quarterly profit. Its snack business offset shifting consumer preference to teas and fruit juices. Pepsi is up 1%. Shares of Ford and General Motors could rise at least 25% in the next year, with U.S. auto sales likely to remain strong. Toyota is down 5%, leading a sharp decline in shares of other Japanese manufacturers whose supply chains were hurt by last week's earthquakes. And India has banned chewing tobacco in an attempt to lower the high incidence of mouth and throat cancers. John Lisher, CNBC Radio.
You can get your IRA or 401k delivered to your home in the form of physical gold and silver coins. Augusta Precious Metals is the leader in home delivery gold IRAs. You get free shipping, free insurance, and no professional management fees. Call 855-858-5807 now for your free guide to Augusta Home Delivery Gold IRAs. Call Augusta Precious Metals at 855-858-5807. That's 855-858-5807. Trust Augusta.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, U.S. Tax Shield can help you take back control. The IRS can seize your bank accounts, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Our team of tax attorneys can stop collections and get you protected. U.S. Tax Shield offers a price protection guaranteed quote to get you protected today. U.S. Tax Shield is A+ rated with the BBB, so call 800-466-9625. U.S. Tax Shield, 800-466-9625.
The Chad Benson Show, live weekdays from 3 to 6 on iFIBER ONE News Radio, AM 1030 and FM 1033, KMAS Shelton.
Here's the latest from ABC News. I'm Karen Chase. It was a tense moment for the pilot when a British Airways jet struck a suspected drone on approach to London's Heathrow Airport. It landed safely, but ABC aviation consultant and former fighter pilot Steve Ganyard says officials are growingly concerned.
I hope it doesn't take an accident or somebody getting hurt on an airplane to get law enforcement to enforce this more closely and for people to be more responsible about where they're flying their drones.
Only two things are certain, death and taxes, and today is a confluence of the two. Midnight marks the tax filing deadline. ABC's Ryan Burrow says a growing number of last-minute filers no longer have the luxury of a last-minute trip to the post office.
While there are some post offices open until midnight, fewer and fewer are available this year. In Detroit, only one post office will remain open later, and that's until 10 p.m. Detroit's postmaster Darren Bray saying in a release that while they expect heavy traffic flow today, they are not expecting it to be as hectic as previous years. One reason, more people have been filing online. A Washington, D.C. holiday also pushed back the tax day deadline 3 days. Ryan Burrow, ABC News.
And they're off. More than 30,000 people have begun the epic 26-mile journey through the streets of Boston in this year's marathon. 3 years after the bombings, some of the victims are running the race, two with prosthetic limbs. Others say they're not worried.
Safety-wise, I'm totally calm. I'm very confident in that. I'm nervous about the race, but the weather's going to be perfect, and I'm looking forward to qualifying and coming back next year.
Security was tweaked after the Brussels bombings to protect spectators. Blade Runner Oscar Pistorius appeared in the South African court, where a judge scheduled his resentencing for June in the shooting death of his girlfriend. He was initially convicted of manslaughter, but a higher court convicted him of murder. The minimum sentence is 15 years in prison. A British brewery worker who printed a rude phrase on the bottom of beer cans triggered consumer confusion, a flurry of online reaction, and a recall of all 200,000 cans of the beer in question. His bosses did not can him. They named him Employee of the Month. This is ABC News.
I'm Nick Soboleski, a Select Quote agent with a true story that could save you hundreds of dollars a year. A woman named Linda just called. Her husband, Ray, has a $300,000 group life insurance policy, but is changing jobs and can't take it with him. Well, I impartially shopped the highly rated term life insurance companies we represent and found Ray, who is 41 and takes medication to control his cholesterol, a 10-year, $500,000 policy for under $26 a month. That's almost twice the coverage for less than half of what he had paid. If SelectQuote hasn't shopped for your life insurance, you're probably paying too much.
For your free quote, call 1-800-613-4810. That's 1-800-613-4810. 1-800-613-4810. Or go to SelectQuote.com. We shop. You save. Get full details on the example policy at SelectQuote.com/commercials. Your price can vary depending on your health, issuing company, and other factors not available in all states.
Millions will be listening closely as the Supreme Court hears arguments today on the legal battle over President Obama's executive order on undocumented immigrants. Details from ABC's Jim Ryan.
When he announced his plan called Deferred Action for Parents of Americans, President Obama called it a pathway to citizenship.
You can come out of the shadows and get right with the law.
Then Texas Attorney General Greg Abbott called it overreaching.
The Constitution prescribes immigration policy be fixed by Congress, not by presidential fiat.
Now more than 24 states have joined Texas in trying to see the courts overturn the president's order. Jim Ryan, ABC News, Dallas.
A student from UC Berkeley is asking Southwest Airlines for an apology. He was yanked off a flight from Los Angeles to Oakland after speaking in Arabic, something that prompted fellow passengers to get nervous and complain to flight attendants. He was first detained by security, then questioned by the FBI before booking another flight home. The phrase he uttered translated roughly to the words, "God willing." Karen Chase, ABC News.
Local news is brought to you by Fred Holmes Tree Service. FredHolmesTreeService.com, 427-4489.
From the iFIBER ONE Newsradio studios, I'm Marilyn Foster. Lake Boulevard paving begins tomorrow. Shelton City officials say the contractor will be installing pavement on Lake Boulevard between University Street and the city limits tomorrow through Friday, depending on weather. The asphalt must cool before traffic will be allowed to drive on it. During this time, there will be more trucks and crews on site than there has been to date. Driving lanes will be very narrow and congested with construction crews and equipment. Traffic flow and access to and from driveways could potentially be impacted for up to an hour. Please plan accordingly and avoid the area whenever possible, but especially from 7 a.m. through 7 p.m. Officials ask drivers to please be alert, obey all construction signs and flagging personnel directions for your safety. Mason County Public Utility District 3 is studying relocation of its North Mason Customer Service Office to the business core of Belfair. Annette Creekpalm, PUD3 manager, recently reported to the PUD commissioners that she's been weighing the advantage of having an office in the center of Belfair. The existing office is about 4 miles south of Belfair. Creekpalm said such a move would provide a stronger presence in the Belfair area, giving it easier access for customer services, a safer location for customers and staff, and a better location for engineering consultation. Nearly 1,000 customers per month visit the PUD's North Mason office to pay bills or conduct business with staff. As part of the evaluation, PUD3 staff will move forward in a search for available and suitable office space in Belfair that could accommodate the utility's customer service functions. PUD3 is also working on an internal reorganization regarding how it schedules and dispatches line crews. Beginning May 16th, all crews will initially report to the PUD3 Operations Center for assignments. That frees all line crews for assignment throughout the county, including the North Mason area. The utility expects that more efficient and coordinated operations will benefit all customers with equal or better service. Today is the deadline for submitting your personal tax returns. You got a couple extra days to file this year because the Internal Revenue Service observed a holiday on the 15th, Emancipation Day. It's observed on April 16th. However, because that fell on a Saturday, it was celebrated on the closest weekday, which was Friday. If you're going to wait until the last minute to file, be sure to check the final pickup times at mail drop-off boxes, and be sure to check how late your nearest post office will be open. Tax returns must be postmarked by midnight. For iFIBER ONE Newsradio, 1030 KMAS and FM 103.3, I'm Mary Lynn Foster.
If you could wave a wand and change one thing about your house, what would it be?
Hold that thought, but forget the wand. Home improvement isn't magic.
If you're a do-it-yourselfer, we can show you the tricks of the trade for remodeling and repair.
And how to not get fooled when you're choosing and directing a contractor. Hi, I'm Tom Kreitler.
And I'm Leslie Segretti. Phone in your fix-up questions here this weekend.
On the Money Pit Home Improvement Radio Show.
Saturdays at 10, Sundays at 7 on iFIBER One News Radio.
Wonder what the outrageously energizing experience of Mountain Dew Kickstart is like? Well, it's like a combo of 3 awesome things. Dew, juice, and caffeine rebooting your entire personal operating system.
Mountain Dew Kickstart is in position for consumption. Release the Mountain Dew Kickstart. Mountain Dew Kickstart released. Experiencing a charge of Mountain Dew Kickstart now.
Mountain Dew Kickstart operation successful. Roger that. Get charged up with Mountain Dew Kickstart, now in 4 energizing new flavors like Midnight Grape. It all starts with a kick.
Now from the all-new Gillis Auto Center Sports Desk, here's Sean Wells.
Freshman Manny Nicasio had 2 goals for Shelton as the High Climbers tied Capital on the pitch 3-3. All 6 goals in the contest were scored in the second half. Shelton fast pitch racked up another win, this time in non-league action, taking down Olympic 14-12. The High Climbers racked up 15 hits in the contest. Natalie Albaugh finished 2 for 5 with a home run and 3 RBIs for Shelton. The Seattle Sounders picked up a much-needed home win, knocking off the Philadelphia Union 2-1. Hometown rookie Jordan Morris scored his first career goal as a Sounder in the 71st minute. The Seattle Mariners dropped a tough one to the Yankees on Sunday 4-3. It was just the 12th matchup in MLB history between 2 Japanese-born starting pitchers, with Hisashi Iwakuma going up against Masahiro Tanaka. With the game tied at 3 in the bottom of the 5th, Brett Gardner scored on a wild pitch, putting the Yankees on top for good. However, the Mariners did start the road trip on a positive note, taking 2 of 3 from the Yankees. For iFIBER One News Radio, I'm Sean Wells.
Good morning. It's 10 after 7, and I'm Carol Gardner. It's going to be another beautiful day, no matter where you're at or who you're with. At least the sun's
Wait a second. I resemble that remark.
Yeah, okay, I'm just joking. No, it's just going to be beautiful like it was yesterday. It's going to be quite warm. It's going to be warm again tomorrow. No rain in sight.
Love it.
Till the end of the week. We'll reach the high temperatures of about 85, which is going to be awesome. And right now it's about 45.
Now, from the iFIBER One News Radio studios, it's Daybreak. Providing local news, sports, weather, and interviews to the South Sound's most important people. You. From business leaders to politicians, from activists for change to advocates for the poor, your neighbors and newsmakers are here on Daybreak.
7:11 here at iFIBER One News Radio. Good morning to you. It's Daybreak. Jeff and Carol, we got a great show for you lined up in an hour. Mark Ziegler coming in from Shelton Parks and Rec. It's National Parks Week. And so we're celebrating that to letting folks know that there is, I think, 7. Well, we'll find out how many parks are in the city of Shelton proper and all the beautiful amenities. You know, you can, I used to work in the city of Lacey at the parks, at the community center out there. And one of the things that was a big draw were the benches or the picnic areas.
Okay.
And
with
so
covers over them.
Yeah, with the covers. That's what this
Yeah.
is if you're watching. They've got covers over them. And the rental of those or the reserving of those is a big thing. You know, you want to have a nice family barbecue, perhaps. You go, let's go have a barbecue. Well, you show up and somebody's using that covered overhang. You can reserve those types of things.
Yeah.
Just one of the things we'll talk with Mark Ziegler about. And then from the parks in Shelton to the ballpark at Safeco Field, it's Mariners Monday. We're giving somebody a pair of tickets to an upcoming Mariners game between 8:15 and 8:30. Listen for the Mariners theme music. Be the first person to call in with the correct answer at 360-462-1041. Win tickets to the April 30th game against Kansas City. Nelson Cruz bobblehead night. Whoa.
Yeah, fun.
Sean Wells just was on the air with us doing his sports report. In that sports report, he gave us a little bit of a clue. I mean, it wasn't a little bit of a clue.
Well, I heard a couple different things that could be the question.
Oh.
So,
okay.
If you're listening to the report, you got the answer.
Yeah, you know what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Additionally, today is tax day. We've got some facts for you. Also, some places that you can go to get a little respite from your taxes, seeing if there's anything locally.
Do we still have a Staples in the area? Or is it Office Depot? Remember they all got bought out. One of them got bought out.
Yeah. I don't remember. There isn't a Sonic in Lacey, though. I think there's something going on there.
We'll tell you about some taxes on that.
You're listening to Daybreak on iFIBER ONE Newsradio.
During Countdown to Earth Day, the Lucky Eagle Casino reminds you that our biggest concern when caring for our Earth is that we put it back the way we found it. The Lucky Eagle Casino says we should all remember to leave the land as good as or better than we found it.
The following message is brought to you by Whitney Chevrolet. Do you remember when the conservation clubs warned us we were wasting the land? Now we've learned the hard way. They were right. During Countdown to Earth Day, Whitney Chevrolet reminds you that it's not too late to get involved.
Did you ever look at the stains in your coffee cup and then realize that's exactly what happens to your teeth? Paraswabs is the 5-minute solution to get your teeth white without visiting the dentist. This is John Greenhut, the CEO of Paraswabs. And if your teeth are stained from coffee, tea, or smoking, all it takes is 5 minutes with Paraswabs. In 5 minutes, you'll see an average of 2 shades whiter teeth, and in 7 days, 6 shades. It's clinically proven to whiten natural teeth as well as caps and veneers. The secret is a tooth detergent that was developed by Dr. Martin Ginniger that lifts stains off of your teeth. Best of all, there's no messy strips or trays that you have to leave in your mouth for an hour. Just swab your teeth for 5 minutes and you're done. To try Paraswabs risk-free, call 1-800-928-7113. That's 1-800-928-7113. I guarantee your bright white smile will have your friends, family, and coworkers talking about how great you look. Try it risk-free today. 1-800-928-7113. That's 1-800-928-7113.
How can the shopper work for you? Mailing and fulfillment services will address, insert, and mail your letter to your target demographic. Promotional items. Promotional products are important advertising tools for any organization. Plus, office supplies, printing and design services, and large-scale printing. The shopper is committed to providing products and services with the utmost in customer satisfaction. The shopper, we make good impressions.
iFIBER ONE Newsradio, 1030 KMAS and FM 103.3 presents Daybreak.
$7:15, iFIBER ONE News Radio, Daybreak. Jeff and Carol, morning to you, Carol.
Good morning.
And morning to you on this beautiful Monday. Oh my gosh. Nary a cloud in the sky.
I know. It's
from my vantage point.
It's going to be beautiful. Another beautiful day.
So what? Mid-80s today. Mm-hmm. Plenty of sunscreen. Mid-80s tomorrow. Now we remember when we're in the car, and it's been a while since we've been this warm. We may be driving around with our pets. May have to go to a store or something like that, do some shopping. Now, if you can't leave your pets in there, in the cars, because it gets hot quick. You get those windows rolled up, even cracked a little bit. The heat inside, it is much warmer inside than it is on the outside. Mm-hmm. And kids, small kids, pets, elderly, you just got to be cautious. It's a lot warmer than we're used to.
Yes.
We're being thrown into the heat.
We are. So I have a greenhouse. It's a plastic greenhouse sitting outside, which was great over the winter because it kept my plants just a little bit warmer. That needed to be, protected through the winter months. And of course, I wasn't really paying attention. And then yesterday when I get out there and I'm looking at it, my plants are like, it's a little hot in here. I'm like, whoops, because, I hadn't watered them or anything. And so I opened up one whole side of it and I got them all watered. And then I drug out, I'm like, hey, I'm out here, get my hands dirty, drug out all the rest of my plants. So yeah, it heats up fast if you are in an enclosed plastic or glass type situation. It's pretty intense sometimes.
7:17 at iFIBER ONE News Radio. Some news from the Northwest that we are looking at. We had heard reports of a possible wildfire in Mason County. We're just wanting to make sure that this is a confirmed story before we pass it along to you, but it is information that we have on our desk. Additionally, there is some more news from the Associated Press that we've kind of just been going off and on about throughout the morning. Federal officials are seeking public comment on a plan to designate 30,000 acres of critical habitat for the last remaining herd of mountain caribou in the lower 48. It's the second attempt by the Fish and Wildlife Services after a federal judge rejected the same plan that reduced critical habitat in northern Idaho and northeastern Washington from about 375,000 acres to just 30,000 acres. Federal agency is taking written comments through May 19th. The herd in the lower 48 has been the focus of lawsuits by conservation groups who want more protections and other groups who contend the protected status limits use of the mountains and forest by humans for activities such as recreation and resource extraction.
And the Port of Vancouver officials are giving the company behind a proposed rail-to-marine oil transfer terminal 8 more months to secure permits. The Columbian reports opponents wanted the lease terminated altogether, while Vancouver Energy had asked for another 2 years. Port commissioners agreed to extend the permitting and early termination deadline Friday after deliberating for almost 5 hours. Most of the 200 people who spoke at a public meeting on Tuesday last week were against the project. Officials are going to vote again tomorrow on the process and extension requested by the company.
7:19 at iFIBER ONE News Radio. Big at the box office. And one of the stars' voices was a big one, too.
What exactly does Bill Murray have in common with the bear? I'm ABC's David Blaustein, and he'll tell you coming up.
What else happened at the box office, and more. It's tax day. We'll talk about that coming up, too. 7:20, iFIBER ONE News Radio.
You're listening to Daybreak on iFIBER ONE News Radio.
I'm with Scott Alsterberg, sales manager at the all-new Gillis Auto Center here in Shelton. This is Truck Month, Scott. What's that mean?
It sure is, Dale. Well, what that means to you is you can save big time.
Tell me more.
Well, not only is it Truck Month, but right now we are liquidating our 2015 inventory. And what that means is any remaining 2015 from either company in stock, you can buy at a significant savings. What I'm talking about is I'm going to show you the dealer invoice, the real invoice. And then we're going to take away our dealer holdback. And then we're going to take away all of the incentives. And you can walk out of our store literally saving up to $9,923.
Oh, my word. How are you guys going to keep the lights on?
Well, hopefully we'll get some good trades on all of this.
Wow. It's Truck Month, and you're liquidating all your 2015s, cars and trucks. It's a new place. It's the all-new Gillis Auto Center. Downtown City Center exit.
Just go to Gillis.
Hi guys, Kat here with iFIBER ONE News Radio. What if I told you that radio advertising is far more effective than print media? Think about all of your customers driving to work, appointments, or events, all the while listening to the radio. Imagine your commercial airs on iFIBER ONE News Radio and the customer decides, hey, I'm right by there. I'm going to go check it out. Radio captures you and literally speaks to you and your customers several times a day. This enables you to build a unique message that reminds your customers what you have to offer. Remember, your customers can either drive to you or through you. And here at iFIBER ONE News Radio, we want to direct customers to you. Being the only talk radio formatted station in the entire South Sound region, we have an entire new market for your business to advertise in. As your sales lady, I take pride in providing your business with the best advertising because I want your business to succeed. So call me today at 360-463-2558 and ask for Kat.
iFIBER ONE News Radio, 1030 KMAS and FM 1033 presents Daybreak.
Good morning. It's 7:20 and I'm Carol Gardner along with Jeff Slakey.
Morning.
Good morning. We're on Daybreak. You can hear us on 1030 AM, 1033 FM, and you can see us online at iFiber1newsradio.com. We're going to have a guest today in about an hour or so, Mark Ziegler. We're going to celebrate National Parks Week, plus Shelton City Parks. We'll find out where the parks are in Shelton and what can you do in the parks.
Oh, yeah, good stuff. There's a lot of fun ones. Also at 8:45 from the Economic Development Council here in the county, Director Lynn Longan will be on the air with us. We've been talking with her about some of the roundtables that have been happening. Lots of people coming out talking about the economic impact of a lot of the main industries here around these parts. Pretty cool stuff, and always great to have folks engaged, be part of the process and get involved with this stuff. 722 at iFiber One News Radio is a big weekend at the box office, Carol, and Jungle Book rules, Disney's live action CGI adaptation. I was kind of going back, sorry to stop this story mid-sentence, but I was going back on looking at old cartoons that I used to watch as a kid that Kaiser may find appropriate. So like Transformers.
Still relevant.
Still relevant.
In this day and age.
Like he really comprehends. He knows Tow Mater, and that's about it. Mater. We watch Mater all the time. But we were going back and looking, and one of the websites I went to was 90s cartoons that you may have forgotten. And I bring it up because of this Disney's live action CGI adaptation. Do you remember Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
Yes.
Classic.
That was like the first one of...
Was it? Do you remember Cool World with Brad Pitt? A young, I think even pre-Thelma and Louise.
I don't think I
Brad
remember
Pitt was
that
in
at
Cool
all.
World, where he was a live person, obviously, because that's what he is. And he interacted with a cartoon universe.
What was it about? Do you
I
remember?
think he was a private eye or something, living in a cool world.
Huh.
$103 million is what the Jungle Book brought in over the weekend. Barbershop 2 at $20 million. The Boss at $10 million. Number 4, Batman v Superman, Dawn of Justice, $9 million. Zootopia rounds out the top 5 at 8.2. Jungle Book, we know all the characters from that Disney cartoon, and old Baloo the Bear, voiced by Bill Murray.
Bill Murray is the voice of Baloo the Bear in the Jungle Book.
Relax. No need to get worked up.
And you may ask, what exactly does Bill Murray have in common with a bear?
I don't know. I don't look like a bear. Although I had a girl call me a bear once. You're like a bear. You're like a bear. But she was petite.
Okay. As for the Jungle Book itself, Murray read the book when he was in his early 20s and fell in love.
That Jungle Book I thought was a real piece of art. So when Jon Favreau said, "Would you like to do this?" I really couldn't say no.
David Blaustein, ABC News.
So another continuation of some great Disney franchises from the past. I had read that they're going to do another Jungle Book, kind of like a pre-story, the story before the story. Jungle Book Origins was going to be the name of it. They changed it to just the Jungle Book to make it super confusing. I think the guy who plays Gollum, you know that guy? He's in a bunch. He plays Gollum. He plays the monkeys in Planet of the Apes. He's a CGI character actor. Anyways, I think he's the big time in that one. That'll be fun. I can't believe some of the technology in these movies these days. It just the expanse.
Well, it's come a long way since Roger Rabbit, that's for sure.
Come a long ways.
Very long way. Because that was like cartoon. I mean, it was like a cartoon interacting.
That was a funny movie.
Yeah.
727 at iFiber One News Radio. Good morning to you. It is Daybreak here. Mariners Monday today, and at 8:15 through 8:30, we're going to be talking with Mark Ziegler from Shelton Parks and Rec. Also, we will have our Mariners Monday trivia contest. Son Wells' sports report coming up in a few moments. Listen through that for his clues for the questions. We'll ask for you to call in and open the phone lines. First person to get the right answer wins a pair of tickets to the April 30th game against the Kansas City Royals. Dun, 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 tax day, dun.
Everybody should be done by today at midnight.
You better be done. Are there any deals?
There are some deals. Papa John's looks like through all day today is offering up some, let's see, I don't know. They have some deals I don't know exactly what it is, but I would check the websites first before you think that you're getting a deal, because they may be like area-wise, maybe.
Oh, yeah.
But we do have a Papa John's around here.
I'm actually surprised.
I don't know if
by
there's
their
a
food.
Is there a Great American Cookies around here?
Oh, sounds delicious.
Schlotzsky's?
Schlotzsky's Deli.
Yeah, I don't think there is
Remember
one
that
around
name?
here. I saw one. Okay, Sonic, half-price cheeseburger all day Monday. We have.
They
that
just
new
opened. So they
Sonic
just
and Lacey.
opened a Sonic and
Yeah.
Lacey out by that grocery store, Winco.
Yeah, and then they are doing something on the west side, and you drove by and you saw a huge construction happening.
So where Hagen has been in the news, and that Top Foods was a Top Foods, and now it's a Hagen, and I think it's going to stay a Hagen even throughout the change.
That's what they say.
That's what we're hearing. Well, right next to that Hagen and that Pier 1 Imports area, there used to be just a massive forest.
Yeah.
And I went by there the other day because Carol and I were talking about this Sonic thing, and I look up. We're coming back from Kaiser had to go to the doctor, and we're coming back that way. And we look over, and sure enough, it has been totally cleared, and they're going to have another one of these. And so they are on skates. It's like a total.
Yeah.
You never see that in the commercials.
No.
It's just those two guys talking.
And
But they have
so weird about that corner area. There was never any fast food in that area. Now there's a McDonald's. Is it a McDonald's that's right next to Hagen's? And now there's going to be a Sonic.
Taco Bell, Five Guys. I mean, it's a busy little area there
it
on
is
the
sort of
west side of
crazy now.
Olympia. 7:29 at iFIBER One News Radio. Good morning to you. We continue on with stories. Mary Lynn Foster talks about the Lake Boulevard Pioneer Way Improvement Project update, which is going to be going full throttle this week with the weather in the mid-80s. PUD3 studying a possible relocation around the Belfair area, and they're looking at how they dispatch line crews for better service for you. And as we mentioned, it's tax days.
And here's one I think is a great one. Office Depot, Office Max. I think they did combine. I think we still have. There is
There's
still
an
one.
Office Depot on the west side.
Yeah. You can go there and you can print online a free paper shredding up to 5 pounds.
Wait a
Use
second.
through April 23rd.
So they're
which is
offering
awesome.
a paper shredding, but first to do that, you have to print out on a piece of paper this coupon.
I don't know. Maybe you can use it on your phone. It's hard to say.
Part of
But
5 pounds.
I really should get a personal shredder. I don't have one, but I do take advantage of these free shredding events that happen around. They have some here in Mason County and all over the place.
Yeah, very important to have your documents shredded,
Yes.
and not just on the strips.
No.
Because I guess people can put those together.
If they
You want to
really
get the cross-cut one.
Yes. Confetti.
You're listening to Daybreak on iFIBER One News Radio.
Local news is brought to you by Shelton Health and Rehabilitation Center. Find them online at sheltonhealthandrehab.com.
From the iFIBER One News Radio studios, I'm Mary Lynn Foster. Lake Boulevard paving begins tomorrow. Shelton City officials say the contractor will be installing pavement on Lake Boulevard between University Street and the city limits tomorrow through Friday, depending on weather. The asphalt must cool before traffic will be allowed to drive on it. During this time, there will be more trucks and crews on site than there has been to date. Driving lanes will be very narrow and congested with construction crews and equipment. Traffic flow and access to and from driveways could potentially be impacted for up to an hour. Please plan accordingly and avoid the area whenever possible, but especially from 7 a.m. through 7 p.m. Officials ask drivers to please be alert, obey all construction signs and flagging personnel directions for your safety. Mason County Public Utility District 3 is studying relocation of its North Mason Customer Service Office to the business core of Belfair. Annette Creekpalm, PUD3 manager, recently reported to the PUD commissioners that she's been weighing the advantage of having an office in the center of Belfair. The existing office is about 4 miles south of Belfair. Creekpalm said such a move would provide a stronger presence in the Belfair area, giving it easier access for customer services, a safer location for customers and staff, and a better location for engineering consultation. Nearly 1,000 customers per month visit the PUD's North Mason office to pay bills or conduct business with staff. As part of the evaluation, PUD3 staff will move forward in a search for available and suitable office space in Belfair that could accommodate the utility's customer service functions. PUD3 is also working on an internal reorganization regarding how it schedules and dispatches line crews. Beginning May 16th, all crews will initially report to the PUD3 Operations Center for assignments. That frees all line crews for assignment throughout the county, including the North Mason area. The utility expects that more efficient and coordinated operations will benefit all customers with equal or better service. Today is the deadline for submitting your personal tax returns. You got a couple extra days to file this year because the Internal Revenue Service observed a holiday on the 15th, Emancipation Day. It's observed on April 16th. However, because that fell on a Saturday, it was celebrated on the closest weekday, which was Friday. If you're going to wait until the last minute to file, be sure to check the final pickup times at mail drop-off boxes, and be sure to check how late your nearest post office will be open. Tax returns must be postmarked by midnight. For iFIBER One News Radio, 1030 KMAS and FM 103.3, I'm Mary Lynn Foster.
At Mason PUD3, we know that time changes all things, like phone numbers, mailing addresses, and email addresses, even names. PUD3 needs your correct account information for emergency contacts and online security. To make this fun, all PUD3 customers who update or confirm their account information by April 27th will have their names placed into a drawing for a free iPad mini. Go to masonpud3.org/account to learn more.
The Dave Ramsey Show, where common sense meets dollars and cents.
The average car payment in America today is $486 over 84 months. If you invest that from age 30 to age 70 in a decent growth stock mutual fund in your Roth IRA, you'll have $5.6 million. Hope you like the stupid car, and it's going down in value. I like cars. I'm not against cars. I'm not against you having a nice car. I'm against your nice car having you. Hi, this is Dave Ramsey. Tune into my show weekdays from noon to 3 on iFIBER One News Radio.
Road to the title underway. Hi, everybody. I'm Dave Packer reporting on sports. NBA playoff action in full swing this weekend with the Cavaliers hoping to set the tone in their first-round series against the Pistons.
LeBron to the paint, off the Love for a corner three. He got it! Kevin Love now has 28 points, and the Cavaliers have taken a 94-90 lead.
John Michael on WTAM. Kevin Love's 28 points helped the Cavs escape a potential upset, coming from behind to beat the Pistons 106-101 in South Beach.
Whoever will take a timeline and over, just hold on. And what a great performance by Miami to open up the postseason with this lopsided victory over the Charlotte Hornets.
On the Miami Heat radio network, Luol Deng puts up 31, and the Heat walk all over the Hornets 123-91. Western Conference Game 1 matchups. The Spurs squashed the Grizzlies 106-74. And the Clippers handled the Trailblazers 115-95. On the ice, it was bedlam in Brooklyn.
Nelson in the slot for Hickey. Shoots and scores! Thomas Hickey has won it in overtime for the New York Islanders. They win it 4-3.
Chris King on WRHU-FM. Thomas Hickey's Game 3 heroics give the Islanders a 2-1 series lead against the Panthers. The Blues rallied to score 2 third-period goals and beat the Blackhawks in Chicago 2-1 in favor of St. Louis. The Red Wings blanked the Lightning 2-0. Tampa Bay still holds a 2-1 advantage in that series. And the Predators edge past the Ducks 3-2, winning the first 2 games in the series. To baseball, where the Phillies brought the Nationals back down to earth.
Swung on and punched to left. It's pretty well hit. Worth going back to the corner. He won't get it. It's off the base of the wall. Blanco scores. Galvis wins it. The Phillies beat Papelbon and the Nationals.
The call on WIP, the walk-off win puts an end to the Nats' 7-game winning streak. Pirates on top of the Brewers, 9-3. Cardinals 4, Reds 3. Dave Packer, ABC Sports.
Now from the all-new Gillis Auto Center Sports Desk, here's Sean Wells.
Freshman Manny Nicasio had 2 goals for Shelton as the High Climbers tied Capital on the pitch 3-3. All 6 goals in the contest were scored in the second half. Shelton fast pitch racked up another win, this time in non-league action, taking down Olympic 14-12. The High Climbers racked up 15 hits in the contest. Natalie Albaugh finished 2 for 5 with a home run and 3 RBIs for Shelton. The Seattle Sounders picked up a much-needed home win, knocking off the Philadelphia Union 2-1. Hometown rookie Jordan Morris scored his first career goal as a Sounder in the 71st minute. The Seattle Mariners dropped a tough one to the Yankees on Sunday 4-3. It was just the 12th matchup in MLB history between two Japanese-born starting pitchers, with Hisashi Iwakuma going up against Masahiro Tanaka. With the game tied at 3 in the bottom of the 5th, Brett Gardner scored on a wild pitch, putting the Yankees on top for good. However, the Mariners did start the road trip on a positive note, taking 2 of 3 from the Yankees. For iFIBER One News Radio, I'm Sean Wells.
Good morning. It's 7:40. I'm Carol Gardner, and it's going to be another beautiful day. Plenty of sunshine with highs reaching the low 80s to mid 80s. The warm weather will continue through mid-week, then cooling down a bit. Right now, it's 46.
Now, from the iFIBER One News Radio studios, it's Daybreak. Providing local news, sports, weather, and interviews to the South Sound's most important people. You. From business leaders to politicians, from activists for change to advocates for the poor, your neighbors and newsmakers are here on Daybreak.
Well, good morning to you. It is Daybreak here at iFIBER One News Radio, 739. I'm Jeff Slakey along with Carol Gardner. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
It was a nice weekend. There's a lot of earthquakes, though. That was kind of strange to start hearing some of those reports on Friday was the first earthquake in Japan.
Mm-hmm.
And then Friday at night or into Saturday, they had the second one, the aftershock, which was bigger than the first one.
Yeah.
And then there was one in Ecuador, and you said the death toll now above 340?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. 7:38 here at iFIBER One News Radio. Always important to remember that it's not if, it's when the big one will happen. We are working here at the iFIBER One News Radio to figure out plans in the event, when the event happens. Additionally, this summer, the focus will be shifted to the Port of Shelton, where they're going to have that big Cascadia rise. Lots of people going to come in, and they're going to do their own thing, but they'll be there and we'll feel them there.
Right.
So we'll have a better
but we'll have one of our
top of
reporters
mind
go up
consciousness.
and try to get some information also. So we will keep you updated or let you know what happened during that whole event.
Additionally, turns out the Supreme Court is going to meet in a special type session today to hear the challenge to the president's immigration action. You remember that from what he did, his efforts to revamp immigration policy through executive action. The case is U.S. v. Texas over deferring deportations of undocumented immigrants is going to be in a rare 90-minute session. Normally, these are only an hour long. The challengers will speak in front of the still just 8 justices, and 26 states, including Texas. And of course, there's still only at 8 members of the court after the death of Justice Antonin Scalia. So that'll be happening throughout today. We'll get reports on that and commentary from Tom Hartman from 9 till noon, and then Chad Benson on from 3 to 6.
Some national business news around Yahoo accepting first-round bids for the internet business. So I wonder who's going to buy that. Is it a sinking ship?
Oh, Yahoo.com is up for sale?
Yeah. Think it's a sinking ship, or do you think somebody could turn it around?
Well, I'm reminded of what Yahoo used to look like, and it had those little icons up at the top. You can go to the Wayback Machine or
something like that.
Wayback Internet something, and go back to what these sites looked like originally.
Right.
So Yahoo is what? It's a landing page.
It's it's like
it's just
like Google. It's a browser, isn't it?
But if you go to Yahoo, you get a lot more Yahoo.com, you get a lot more information than just typing Google.com. I'm not sure.
That's true. No, it's not a browser. I guess it's a information page well, I don't know. Do they have those? I mean, maybe that's why it doesn't really work anymore, because it's not really a...
The other thing, too, is that I remember when Google came out with their mail, Gmail.
Right.
And it was so sexy to have a Gmail account.
Well,
you
it was
had to
simple.
be asked.
But it was simple. That's, to me, was the Gmail.
Well, no.
It's very simple.
In the beginning, you couldn't just sign up for it like you can now. You had to be invited. So it was like an invitation thing. And now people are going, oh, you have a Yahoo account?
Yeah.
What?
I don't know.
Yahoo!
You're listening to Daybreak on iFIBER ONE Newsradio.
Hi, everyone. This is Mark Tobert, your advertising consultant from iFIBER ONE Newsradio. Are you missing customers because you only market to a specific group? iFIBER ONE Newsradio can help you hit a larger group of buyers with our diverse audience. We are 24 hours of local and national breaking news, award-winning talk radio, and primetime sports, including local high school sports. What does this mean to you? This means our listeners listen longer to entire programs and don't switch to another station when a commercial comes on. Our coverage in the Puget Sound area hits over 500,000 listeners, including Mason County, Thurston County, Grace Harbor County, King, Pierce, Joint Base Lewis McChord, and Kitsap County to the Bremerton Naval Base. All advertising is 100% tax deductible. So how can you afford not to advertise? Call me, Mark Tobert, at iFIBER ONE Newsradio to become a total audience plan advertiser. Just call 360-426-1030.
iFIBER Communications, the fastest internet provider in Washington State, has just opened their doors here in Mason County and got their first local customers signed up. James, tell me about your experience.
From the first time I learned of iFIBER to the day I got hooked up, even now, I felt that my fiber connection and the service given to me have been the #1 most important job to every member of the iFIBER team. And not just because I was first in line with my nose pressed up to the glass waiting for a company to take my money.
What differences have you noticed?
I get what I pay for. With non-fiber solutions, you're paying up to the top and never get a constant number anywhere near that top. With fiber, you certainly do. With iFIBER, you get it at a competitive and affordable price.
Why should others sign up for iFIBER Internet?
Well, iFIBER has made a commitment to Mason County. They're working hard to bring fast speeds to everyone at an affordable price. And now with phones and television, your bill will be all in one place with no hidden fees or sudden price changes to surprise you month to month like other all-in-one service providers.
Get signed up for iFIBER Communications today by calling 360-427-4000 or visit iFIBER.tv for more information.
iFIBER ONE Newsradio, 1030 KMAS and FM 103.3 presents Daybreak.
7:45 on a Monday morning. Good morning to you. It's Daybreak here with Jeff and Carol. Morning, Carol.
Good morning.
Seinfeld? You Seinfeld, yes or no?
Yes.
Okay. Over the weekend, Saturday Night Live is on Saturday nights on NBC, I think. And they've been doing a pretty good job, actually, this year of at least the Democratic race, making fun of the Democratic race. Kate McKinnon is their Hillary Clinton. And one of the old writers and creator of Seinfeld, Larry David, is Bernie Sanders. He plays the Bernie character in all these roles. Well, they had their big debate last week. Mm-hmm. I think Tom Hartman said it best when he said, I don't remember my parents fighting. But if I could imagine what it would have been like to either see them or hear them, that's how uncomfortable the debate was. So Saturday Night Live comes in with their cold open. They're doing their CNN debate parody. Kate McKinnon is Hillary and Larry David is Bernie. And so at one portion of the segment, they start taking audience questions. And a real New Yorker comes up and asks a question, and it was Elaine Bennis, Julia Louis-Dreyfus's character from Seinfeld. So she was in her Elaine character and was asking Bernie about breaking up the big banks and specifics, I guess. So he starts his talk. Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to break up the big banks, and here I'm going to take this step, and then yada, yada, yada. The banks are broken up. Without ever actually giving any real information. And so just a little mini Seinfeld reunion on Saturday Night Live. Those are pretty funny. And I don't stay away. I don't stay up to watch
No, you have to watch them later.
I watch them. Thank goodness for the internet, right? All right, 7:46. I got a text from my friend Brian. Big fan of the station here. Hi, Brian. Thanks for listening. And he had a question again on what you were talking about for tax day. Shredding.
Yes, according to Office Depot's and Office Max, I guess they're sort of like together, though I don't know, I think they've combined or whatever, but you can get a coupon for 5 pounds of free bulk bin shredding now through April 23rd.
Oh.
And I would imagine you just need to go to the Office Depot or Office Max website to look for that deal.
Mm-hmm. Oh.
Just print it out.
We can maybe post that link on our Facebook page or something for folks. That is a pretty good idea.
Yeah, it's a great idea. As we talked before, I mean, paper can add up, and you get stuff. I mean, you get on the do not call list, but you also get on the do not send me junk mail list. They had that up for a while.
I feel like I signed up for that and nothing ever happened.
I know. So you just keep getting junk mail. So it's like, what do you do with it? It has your personal information in it.
Yeah.
You know, somebody could just fill one out and send it in, and who knows if they could get a card in your name. So you want to get rid of all those, and they just pile up. So I have a sack, and I throw everything in, and it gets bigger, and I switch it to a bigger sack. And
yeah,
if you don't have a shredder, these types of things are great. And you can just, I haven't seen the coupon yet, but I'll call Office Depot probably later today and get it figured out. Yeah.
Take a break here from the Old Farmer's Almanac. Patty Duke was remembered over the weekend in Idaho. We'll tell you about that. Also, some more news from the Associated Press. A couple stories coming out of Tacoma. The Elwha interpretive site is close to...
You're listening to Daybreak on iFIBER ONE News Radio.
A certain brood of insects has been waiting 17 years to emerge this spring. We've got the cicada forecast for 2016 today from the Old Farmer's Almanac. With more practical tips and useful advice, this is the Old Farmer's Almanac radio report for Monday, April 18th, the 109th day of the year. Conan O'Brien celebrates a birthday, and the mythic midnight ride of Paul Revere was on this night in 1775. 17-year cicadas are set to emerge this year in parts of the eastern U.S. Brood number 5, which is concentrated in eastern Ohio and parts of West Virginia, Pennsylvania, and New York, will be making its presence heard once the ground is sufficiently warm, most likely sometime in June. Like clockwork, tens of thousands of the insects will emerge after 17 years to breed the next generation. They're generally harmless, so it's not hard to put up with them for a few weeks. They've been waiting for their time in the sun, after all, since the Clinton administration. That is the Old Farmer's Almanac radio report. Learn more at almanac.com.
The Tom Hartman Show, live 9 to noon, weekdays on iFIBER ONE News Radio.
Eventually, something is going to break through all the lies and all the hundreds of millions of dollars that Koch Industries and ExxonMobil and others have spent funding climate change deniers. Eventually, it's going to break through, and people are going to realize that for the last 40 years, they have been lied to by very wealthy people who are lying to us and allowing people to die just so they can protect their wealth. Not even protect their existing wealth, just so they can make more wealth.
Science Fantastic with Professor Michio Kaku. Saturdays at 5, Sundays at 6 on iFIBER ONE News Radio.
We have a universe that's expanding like a balloon. And in every astronomy class, the professor takes out a balloon, gets a felt pen, and puts little spirals on the balloon called galaxies. And there we are sitting in the Milky Way galaxy. And then the astronomy professor begins to blow up the balloon. And sure enough, the distance between the balloons expands. So the universe is expanding.
iFIBER ONE News Radio, 1030 KMAS and FM 103.3 presents Daybreak.
7:50 at iFIBER ONE News Radio. Good morning to you. It's Daybreak here at iFIBER ONE. Member of the original Legion of Boom coming back to Seattle. Quarterback Brandon Browner, a starter for the Seahawks from 2011 to 2013, agreed to terms of a contract with Seattle yesterday. He's 31, originally signed with the Hawks back in 2011 after establishing himself as an all-star in the Canadian Football League. Winning a starting job in training camp that year. Real good. This dude's huge. 6'4", 221. Yikes. Imagine somebody 6'4", 221 running at you. You got the ball, and you're like, I got this. I'm taking the rock to the promise. I don't know what they say. Taking the rock to the end zone. And then this guy, 6'4", 221, comes and says, nope, sorry, you're not today. Oh, can imagine what that would feel like. So he was released, and everybody was really sad about that. But he's back now. That'll be good for the Legion of Boom with Richard Sherman for sure. 7:52 at iFiber One News Radio. We're close to finding that coupon.
I found one for 2015.
Oh, well, that's not going to be helpful right now. That's how they get you in the store.
Exactly.
7:52 at iFiber One News Radio. Excuse me about that.
Meet Kathy, who lives most everywhere, from Zanzibar to Berkeley Square. But Patty's only seen the sights a girl can see from Brooklyn Heights.
Oscar-winning actress Patty Duke, remembered by family, friends, and fans at a public memorial service Saturday. Anna Pierce, the birth name, died March 29th. She was 69. Hundreds attended the Lake City Church in Coeur d'Alene, the same city where she lived with her husband. Service featured some sign language interpreter, which was a nod to Duke's star-making role as Helen Keller in the 1962 film The Miracle Worker. Got an Academy Award for that role. Mackenzie Austin, Duke's son, spoke at the service, thanked his late mother for raising awareness of mental illness. Duke opened up about her diagnoses of bipolar disorder back in '87 on a memoir called Call Me Anna. Actress Melissa Gilbert also spoke. She became close friends with Duke after portraying Keller in the television adaptation of The Miracle Worker back in 1972. So Patty Duke service this past weekend in Coeur d'Alene. 7:53 now at iFiber One News Radio. Follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/1030KMAS with lots of things going on around the Facebook. We're seeing that the weather is very nice this week. It is going to be in the mid-80s. And starting tomorrow, the city contractor will begin installing pavement on Lake Boulevard between University Street and the city limits. First lift of asphalt pavement scheduled to take 2 days for installation. Asphalt must be cooled before traffic can drive on it. Otherwise, you start to see those divots. More crews and trucks on site than there has been so far to date. And driving lanes will be super narrow and congested as construction crews will be out there with equipment. So please give them a break. 7A to 7P is when they're going to be working on that. Traffic could be impacted for up to an hour. 7:55 right now, coming up at 8 o'clock, ABC News. Here's the latest from them.
I'm Sherry Preston at ABC News. The New York primary is tomorrow. It's crucial for Ted Cruz and also for Bernie Sanders. We'll tell you why and run down the numbers coming up.
And looks like Carol's just posted our Office Depot Office Max shredding coupon there.
Right.
So 5 pounds of paper shredding, send it up there. Oh, that's a good deal.
Yep, expires April 23rd, so you have a few days.
Okay. It is tax day today.
And I have mine ready to go in the mail.
Mariners Monday. Good. So we've had I had to amend mine the other day.
Oh.
It was just like a $1. Like went from 14 to 13 or something like that. It didn't do anything. But you just want to make sure that everything is up to date. You're ready to go. You'd hate to get audited. Audits are way down. Their staffing levels are the lowest they've been since 2010 or something like that.
Really?
Yeah.
So you want to make it easy on them.
7:56 now. Mark Ziegler comes in at 8:15 to talk about National Park Week. We're going to focus first on the parks in the city of Shelton. There's a bunch of them that you can go and enjoy the amenities at. We'll tell you where they are and what you can do and any future park plans. Tomorrow, we'll have another conversation about county parks. We'll bring in Jeff Rabel from the county. He's going to bring in some folks, I believe, and we'll be talking about the parks in the county system. Also, between 8:15 and 8:30 is our Mariners Monday contest. You've been hearing Sean Wells' sports reports all morning long on iFiber One News Radio. He's got a great clue in there based on yesterday's game, and we'll ask for the first right answer. We'll play the music. We'll tell the question because you say there's a couple possibles in there in his report.
Yeah, it does sound like there could be two good clues, two good questions. So
first person with the right answer wins a pair of tickets to the April 30th game against the Kansas City Royals, and first 20,000 folks that head up there will get a Nelson Cruz boomstick bobblehead. So very cool. Very cool stuff. Barefoot Bandit in the news this morning is he is asking people to help in a crowdfunding effort. He is the former teenage car, boat, and plane thief. He wants to cryogenically freeze his dying mother. We talked about this last week, that his mom was dying of cancer, most likely not get out before, or most likely he will not get out of prison before she passes. He's trying to raise enough money through crowdfunding to pay for the unusual procedure for his mom. He talked to the Daily Herald over the phone, and the 25-year-old hopes that his mother could one day be brought back to life.
Yeah, but did she want it, or is it just his idea? Did he ask her if she wants to come back?
Interesting question.
I mean, she may just be watching all this and going, what is going on?
He thinks his mother's best hope is to be put in a deep freeze that preserves the body and vital organs. Cryopreservation is the process. Essentially puts the body on pause. Hope is that advances in medical technology will allow her to be revived and for her cancer to be treated. He knows that the idea is outlandish, but it's the most realistic option given her condition.
Realistic?
7:58 at iFIBER One News Radio. 8 o'clock, ABC News. We'll be back with more on Daybreak right after this.
You're listening to Daybreak on iFIBER One News Radio.
Alex Jones and InfoWars on from 6 to 9, weekdays on iFIBER One News Radio, AM 1030 and FM 103.3 KMAS Shelton.
Did you ever look at the stains in your coffee cup and then realize that's exactly what happens to your teeth? PowerSwabs is the 5-minute solution to get your teeth white without visiting the dentist. This is John Greenhut, the CEO of PowerSwabs. And if your teeth are stained from coffee, tea, or smoking, all it takes is 5 minutes with PowerSwabs. In 5 minutes, you'll see an average of 2 shades whiter teeth, and in 7 days, 6 shades. It's clinically proven to whiten natural teeth as well as caps and veneers. The secret is a tooth detergent that was developed by Dr. Martin Ginniger that lifts stains off of your teeth. Best of all, there's no messy strips or trays that you have to leave in your mouth for an hour. Just swab your teeth for 5 minutes and you're done. To try PowerSwabs risk-free, call 1-800-928-7113. That's 1-800-928-7113. I guarantee your bright white smile will have your friends, family, and coworkers talking about how great you look. Try it risk-free today. 1-800-928-7113. That's 1-800-928-7113.
Dave Ramsey helps you handle your money. Weekdays from noon to 3 on iFIBER One News Radio, AM 1030, FM 103.3, KMAS Shelton.
The latest from ABC News. I'm Karen Chase. When his car was suddenly swamped by rising floodwaters, a man in Houston was forced to open the window and swim for it in a live broadcast rescue. ABC meteorologist Rob Marciano says the entire region has been inundated.
Nearly 9 inches of rain falling in the Houston area since midnight last night, and more to come. A slow-moving system bumping into this Omega block that's giving everybody in the eastern half of the country this gorgeous weather. Unfortunately for the folks in Dallas, very slow-moving rainfall, so we've got flash flood warnings that will continue, especially northwest of Houston. But a lot of these bayous feed through the Houston area, so they're rising quickly, no doubt about that. This is all ahead of the front that is yet to push through. So another 4 to 6 inches on top of what they've already had, especially across the Houston area. Several rounds of this going through the next couple of days.
The candidates are canvassing New York, trawling for last-minute support ahead of tomorrow's pivotal primary. Polls indicate Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump hold wide leads. Bernie Sanders says polls have been wrong before. Ted Cruz participated in an ABC Good Morning America town hall and was asked about Trump's allegation that the system is rigged.
Donald is not a complicated man to understand. He doesn't handle losing well.
A British Airways jet hit a drone on approach to London's Heathrow Airport. The plane, with 132 aboard, landed safely and no one was hurt. But aviation safety experts fear if regulations aren't tightened, drones could lead to disasters. Aftershocks are hampering recovery efforts in earthquake-ravaged Ecuador. ABC's Tom Rivers has more.
Those aftershocks, well over 200 and counting, many happening in the Pacific Ocean near the hard-hit coastal cities. The country's president warns, though, the death toll could rise significantly, helping out countries like Spain. It sent a military plane with 47 search and rescue experts and 5 dogs to help look for survivors. Mexico and Colombia flying in rescue teams as well.
For sale, an internet company you may have heard of called Yahoo. Analysts say Verizon is the top bidder. Time and Alphabet bowed out. Dozens of companies are courting it. This is ABC News.
QL1, does Rocket Mortgage require me to fill out a bunch of paperwork?
Negative control. Rocket Mortgage by Quicken Loans is the first on-demand mortgage machine that quickly imports your financial data. You can go through the entire mortgage approval process in minutes.
That is fast, like rocket fast.
It also works on any internet-ready device, so you can get a Rocket Mortgage at any time or place you choose. Over.
3, 2, 1.
Rocket Mortgage at QuickenLoans.com. Push button, get mortgage.
Rocket.
Equal housing lender. Licensed in all 50 states. NMLS Consumer Access.org number 3030.
Spring is here. Now's the time to try something new. Open your road with a brand new Can-Am Spyder. Built for the open road, more stable than a motorcycle, and more open to the life around you. For a limited time, get 0% APR financing for 60 months or up to $2,500 rebate on select 2015 models. Visit your local Can-Am Spyder dealer today. Offer ends April 30, 2016. Certain conditions apply. See dealer for details.
A student at UC Berkeley is asking Southwest Airlines for an apology after being rudely yanked off a flight for speaking Arabic. ABC's Amy Powell has the latest from Los Angeles.
Makhzoumi says a passenger seated in front of him started staring at him. That passenger told a Southwest employee she had overheard potentially threatening comments, and Makhzoumi was escorted off the plane. He says he was detained, searched, and interrogated by airport security and the FBI. Makhzoumi wants an apology from Southwest.
They degraded me as a human, and I believe that they thought that I was a terrorist.
He says he was just talking to an uncle, and the phrase he uttered in Arabic was, God willing. Biggest Loser alum Jillian Michaels says she and her longtime partner are getting married, but she's not excited about planning the wedding. She says she even asked, can't we just go to City Hall? I really don't need to get the dress and the cake and all. She says she will eat on her wedding day, despite her strict diet, calling it a cheat day. Karen Chase, ABC News.
Local news is brought to you by Fred Holmes Tree Service. FredHolmesTreeService.com, 427-4489.
From the iFIBER ONE Newsradio studios, I'm Marilyn Foster. Lake Boulevard paving begins tomorrow. Shelton City officials say the contractor will be installing pavement on Lake Boulevard between University Street and the city limits tomorrow through Friday, depending on weather. The asphalt must cool before traffic will be allowed to drive on it. During this time, there will be more trucks and crews on site than there has been to date. Driving lanes will be very narrow and congested with construction crews and equipment. Traffic flow and access to and from driveways could potentially be impacted for up to an hour. Please plan accordingly and avoid the area whenever possible, but especially from 7 a.m. through 7 p.m. Officials ask drivers to please be alert, obey all construction signs and flagging personnel directions for your safety. Mason County Public Utility District 3 is studying relocation of its North Mason Customer Service Office to the business core of Belfair. Annette Creekpalm, PUD3 manager, recently reported to the PUD commissioners that she's been weighing the advantage of having an office in the center of Belfair. The existing office is about 4 miles south of Belfair. Creekpalm said such a move would provide a stronger presence in the Belfair area, giving it easier access for customer services, a safer location for customers and staff, and a better location for engineering consultation. Nearly 1,000 customers per month visit the PUD's North Mason office to pay bills or conduct business with staff. As part of the evaluation, PUD3 staff will move forward in a search for available and suitable office space in Belfair that could accommodate the utility's customer service functions. PUD3 is also working on an internal reorganization regarding how it schedules and dispatches line crews. Beginning May 16th, all crews will initially report to the PUD3 Operations Center for assignments. That frees all line crews for assignment throughout the county, including the North Mason area. The utility expects that more efficient and coordinated operations will benefit all customers with equal or better service. Today is the deadline for submitting your personal tax returns. You got a couple extra days to file this year because the Internal Revenue Service observed a holiday on the 15th, Emancipation Day. It's observed on April 16th. However, because that fell on a Saturday, it was celebrated on the closest weekday, which was Friday. If you're going to wait until the last minute to file, be sure to check the final pickup times at mail drop-off boxes, and be sure to check how late your nearest post office will be open. Tax returns must be postmarked by midnight. For iFIBER One News Radio, 1030 KMAS and FM 103.3, I'm Mary Lynn Foster.
Join Alex Jones weeknights from 6 to 10 on iFIBER One News Radio.
Tell people to tune in to that local AM or FM. Support their sponsors, because there's nothing better than an AM or FM, because you can saturate the whole town. You can tell anybody how to tune in. Most people have different apps or different computers, or a third of the public doesn't even hardly use computers. So you got to reach folks through those AM and FM affiliates. They're so precious because more and more censorship is coming into the web.
Is your family doing some growing? Whether it's an expansion of your home or the addition of a new family car, Peninsula Credit Union can provide fast, friendly service with terrific rates. We offer personal lines of credit, affordable auto loans, and a variety of home loan options to get you moving. Visit our offices in Shelton, Belfair, Paulsbo, Port Orchard, and Port Townsend, or go online to pcfcu.org. At Peninsula Credit Union, our priority is you.
Now from the all-new Gillis Auto Center Sports Desk, here's Sean Wells.
Freshman Manny Nicasio had 2 goals for Shelton as the High Climbers tied Capital on the pitch 3-3. All 6 goals in the contest were scored in the second half. Shelton fast pitch racked up another win, this time in non-league action, taking down Olympic 14-12. The High Climbers racked up 15 hits in the contest. Natalie Albaugh finished 2 for 5 with a home run and 3 RBIs for Shelton. The Seattle Sounders picked up a much-needed home win, knocking off the Philadelphia Union 2-1. Hometown rookie Jordan Morris scored his first career goal as a Sounder in the 71st minute. The Seattle Mariners dropped a tough one to the Yankees on Sunday 4-3. It was just the 12th matchup in MLB history between 2 Japanese-born starting pitchers, with Hisashi Iwakuma going up against Masahiro Tanaka. With the game tied at 3 in the bottom of the 5th, Brett Gardner scored on a wild pitch, putting the Yankees on top for good. However, the Mariners did start the road trip on a positive note, taking 2 of 3 from the Yankees. For iFIBER One News Radio, I'm Sean Wells.
Good morning. It's 10 after 8, and I'm Carol Gardner. It's going to be another beautiful day today. Plenty of sunshine with highs reaching the low 80s. The warm weather continues through the midweek, and then we do cool down a bit. Right now, it's 52.
Now, from the iFIBER One News Radio studios, it's Daybreak. Providing local news, sports, weather, and interviews to the South Sound's most important people. You. From business leaders to politicians, from activists for change to advocates for the poor, your neighbors and newsmakers are here on Daybreak.
8:10, iFIBER One News Radio. Good morning to you. It is Daybreak here, and coming up, we'll talk about the parks in the city of Shelton. Also, we're just about 5 minutes away from the start of when we'll be offering up Mariners Monday contest today as well. We had just Sean Wells on with his sports report. In there, he had some pretty good clues about a potential question for the Mariners Monday Trivia Contest, which is coming up at 360-462-1041. That's the number you need all season long to be the big winner. 8:45 today from the Mason County Economic Development Council. Director Lynn Longan will be on the air with us as well at 8:45. Last night around 9:30, there was a motorcycle fatality 2 miles east of Allen on State Route 3. Man 36 from Gig Harbor was on a Honda VT 750D headed west on State Route 302, failed to make the curve and left the roadway. Cause is under investigation, but we did find that story and wanted to make sure that was passed along to you as well. Beautiful day today, huh, Carol?
Mm-hmm. Highs in the low to mid 80s.
These are perfect conditions for installation of pavement.
If you have to be the one in that heat.
Starting tomorrow, the city contractor will begin installing pavement on Lake Boulevard between University and the city limits. A couple days for installation on this, the first lift, and it has to cool before traffic can drive on it. Though you'll see a lot more crews, a lot more trucks on site than there has been, and their work hours are 7 a to 7 p. Additionally, other news notes that we'll try to get to through the rest of the morning. They'll be on iFIBER1Newsradio.com, though. A couple stories coming out of Tacoma. The mayor defends her trip to Asia that the city paid for. Also, there was a big fire over the weekend in Tacoma as well. Barefoot Bandit is in the news again, and Bernie Sanders supporters were in Olympia on Saturday for a rally to encourage superdelegates to vote for Bernie at the Democratic Convention. That's a question I had, and I'll ask. We got a note from Congressman Kilmer's person, his handler, to come on and talk with us in a couple weeks or something like that. So maybe what we can do is ask him. I'm wondering how there's the distinction made between Derek Kilmer, citizen, and Derek Kilmer, superdelegate.
Yeah, that's true.
So if he goes to a polling place, can he caucus? Does somebody make a special note that he caucus?
You're listening to Daybreak on iFIBER One News Radio.
It's that time of year again for Seattle Mariners baseball, and iFIBER One News Radio is the only station to carry the Mariners in the South Sound. Be part of the team and advertise your business on iFIBER One News Radio's coverage of the Mariners broadcast every day this season. Summertime in the Northwest means people traveling to enjoy outdoor activities and listening to the Mariners while camping, fishing, and boating. And the only place to listen to the Mariners around Puget Sound is on iFIBER One News Radio. Your business should be part of the Mariners broadcast each day to hit one of the biggest listening audiences in radio. Choose from packages that get you on every game or every inning of over 150 games this season. Call the sales team at iFIBER One News Radio today at 360-426-1030 or email us at sales@ifiber1.com and sign up to be part of the great season of Mariners baseball.
Is your business targeting the state's largest payroll? Military personnel at JBLM and Naval Base Kitsap surpass all others, and Swarner Communications gives your businesses direct reach into those markets with newspaper advertising, face-to-face events, email blasts, mobile marketing, reputation management, and more, all for one affordable price. Call Swarner Communications today, 253-584-1212.
iFIBER One News Radio, 1030 KMAS and FM 103.3 presents Daybreak.
Good morning. We have in studio today Mark Ziegler. He's going to talk to us about Shelton City Parks. Good morning, Mark. How are you?
Great. How are you guys?
I'm good. Jeff, you're good?
Yeah, good. Monday morning's beautiful out there.
It's very nice.
So you handed us a map of city parks, and it's quite a bit of parks, 12, 13 parks around Shelton.
That's more than I thought.
Yeah, we have about 33 acres of parkland in the city of Shelton, with various amenities in each one, and so each offers a little different experience. So there's something for everybody. If not, there's also county parks and national parks and state parks that are within close proximity too. So we live in a great area for those.
And of course, city parks are all free for anybody to go into. You don't have to have a pass to get in.
No, exactly. No Discover Pass required. The only fees that we charge are for picnic shelter rentals and ball field rentals. So if you want exclusive use of that picnic shelter for a family reunion, birthday party, an event like the Kiwanis Pancake Breakfast or music in the park, something like that, there is a nominal fee. It's $10 per hour for the picnic shelter at any of our parks. and then the ball field, Neyland Park, or excuse me, not Neyland, but Callanan or Loop Field. If you want a soccer game or softball game, baseball game, things like that, there's a $10 an hour fee along with that as well. So that gives exclusive use, helps recover some of the costs that is needed to maintain those facilities in the condition that is required for games.
Definitely. So it looks like the biggest park on the map is the Huff and Puff Trail.
Well, a little bit, yeah. It actually, we call it about 5 acres of the 230 some acre watershed property. So the trail, if you draw kind of a box around the trail itself, it's about 5 acres. The trail is 1.85 miles, but it's really an undeveloped parcel. It's the wooded area on the watershed. So just the trail is involved in there, but probably the largest park we have, acreage-wise, that's kind of developed multi-use park would be Callanan Park. That's almost 7 acres up there on the Mountain View side of town.
Just right next to the cemetery there. Yeah. It's where the fast pitch team plays. They used to, at least.
Yeah, they used to. Yeah, it's been for years. It was developed in the early 60s by the JC's Junior Chamber of Commerce, and it was property donated by Dr. Callanan. Basically, a wooded parcel with kind of 2 big depressions in it. If anybody's been up there lately or been up there at all, they'll know there's one depression kind of on the east side, still that's heavily wooded, kind of I call it a kettle, but it's a depression, kind of a natural area where kids will just go and walk around through the trails or, run down to the bottom of it, run back up the hill, stuff like that. On the other side where the ball field is, it was a similar depression. From my understanding, I wasn't around back then, that they filled in and created the ball field. So the JCs took that on, built a restroom, put in some playground equipment, developed that, and then in the late 90s, early 2000s, the community came together to help renovate that facility, and we saw a major change in there. 80 trees were taken down, opened up the interior of the facility. We were able to grow some grass. It was really heavily wooded, and you didn't really have open play area. So brought some sunlight in there, able to put some more grass in for some open area, new playground equipment, half-court basketball court, new restroom, and new shelter that was built by Skookum Rotary through their project. Nice log frame picnic shelter. So that facility really has a lot of amenities up there as well, and probably is it's not as well known as Neyland, so it certainly doesn't get as much use, but I think it provides a nice atmosphere and a lot of amenities that Neyland already does, but might not be as busy if people are looking for that experience.
Yeah, it has a basketball court, which is pretty cool. And then also Johnson Park has a basketball court.
Yeah,
as well.
Johnson's a little park, again, donated by Art Johnson and his family a number of years ago. And it really is just a heavily wooded, about a half-acre facility with a half-court basketball court on it. And it was about 5 years ago, we started going through a process with the community right after the Park District measure was passing, just before we started that process with the community and really asked them what they wanted out of that facility, because it's really just heavily wooded. There's 60 some fir trees on this half acre, and they're large. And it really doesn't provide an active recreation experience. There's really no room to put playground equipment in a safe layout and manner. So we started asking the neighbors what they wanted, and it was really mixed. A lot of them just wanted to leave it as a natural area. They like to have their kids just go and kind of form their own play experiences, not necessarily a swing set or or a slide or anything, but they grab some sticks and stack them up or just run around the trees or whatever it might be. So we started that process and had a couple ideas on what to do, but really ultimately left it as it was. Had an arborist come in and do a survey of the trees, make sure they're all healthy and how we can maintain their health, and then worked with a local Boy Scout on his Eagle Scout project who went in and put in a bunch of mulch over the root systems to help protect the roots of the trees, and then poured a couple picnic table pads and put some picnic tables down. It's really kind of just a mostly passive park, other than that half-court basketball court that's been there since I can remember, which is more than 25 years now. So
I like that I see a park in almost every neighborhood. I mean, considered neighborhood.
Yeah,
that one we were just talking about is in Capitol Hill. Then there's the Mountain View one, the Callanan Park, and there's a lot of great parks around here.
There are, and we'd really like to do more. You know, we're faced with some financial issues with the pro rationing and property values decreasing. Even in lieu of that, we're working on our park plan right now. So every 6 years we have a comprehensive parks plan that we develop that really determines what direction to go and where to add parks. The existing park plan has a standard that recommends a neighborhood park within a half-mile walking distance or half-mile radius of every resident in the city.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's pretty intensive, and it really would add more facilities, especially as you look at the map on the south side of town, and even in Mountain View on the east side of Olympic Highway, because part of the criteria that we look at in the park plan is what physical obstacles might deter people from accessing those parks.
Oh, sure.
So a major arterial, a natural feature like a canyon ravine, something like that. You know, big hillside slope. You know, lack of sidewalks, trails that would give people the opportunity to access a neighborhood park, because those are places that you won't necessarily have a Neyland Park, a big picnic shelter, a big playground, but you have some smaller play equipment, some open area where you could, you know, kids can run around, play a game of, you know, baseball or football or something like that, and then just some picnic areas where maybe the neighbors would get together with each other, or just walk down for a quick hour or two on a weekend or a weeknight, and enjoy the facility rather than make a trip out of it, make a day out of it or something like that, like they might go down to Neyland or something like that. So that's part of the process we're going through now, is determining if those standards are still appropriate, and determining where those future facilities, future parks might go in order to serve our population now and in the future.
So I wanted to ask you about how somebody would get involved, but first, I find it interesting that Overlook Park is a park. I mean, it's called Overlook Park, but it's just really you pull over and you sort of have a view of downtown. So you guys, I mean, that's something that cities do, is label that a park so you can keep that in your system. Yeah, exactly right. It because of the monuments there, it tends to fall within the Parks Department. But we also have some undeveloped property up there that kind of the lower portion off the road, just to the south of those monuments and that pullout. There's kind of a lower grass field a little bit down there. It's kind of amongst the trees. And that actually was designed and went to bid in the early 90s to develop that as more of a specific park site. And then things changed, and it didn't get developed, and it hasn't been a priority since. But at some point, you know, that's in the park's inventory, much like there's a little parcel, 1.75 acres up by Terrace Heights, that's an undeveloped park site that would make a great neighborhood park. And when the funds and the resources become available, those would be developed into areas that, you know, that would be accessible to those neighborhoods. Okay, so how we're going to wrap this up pretty much in a moment, but how would somebody get involved or say, hey, I know a great place for a park, or how can I help push for this park? Great idea. We have a citizens advisory committee. There's a 5-member citizens advisory committee that meets monthly, and then as needed beyond that. And those are the residents that I utilize to bounce ideas off of and really work through this park plan, this comprehensive park plan that we've been talking about. We will be advertising for a public meeting coming up, as well as putting out a public survey as well. So really encourage folks to let us know what their needs are. Let us know what they want. I know money's tight, but this is the idea where you're not talking about money, that you're just talking about what you want, what you need, what you think might be a great idea. We can put that in the park plan, and then
those projects are prioritized, and then as funding becomes available, grant funding becomes available, resources become available, community groups step forward, much like they did at Nealon Park and Callahan Park, and the outdoor class at Choice with the Teresa Johnson Trail and things like that come up, and we can work as a community to develop these facilities, and we have a roadmap on where to go. It's really, that's really the important part of this, is that we have a roadmap, and this is in a plan, and it's not just one person's idea. It's the community's idea of what they want, what they need. And so and if it's if we're not going through this planning process, they can always get a hold of me, and we can discuss it and see how it fits in to the plan, or we make notes and add it to the plan later down the road. Or
okay, and they can find that stuff on the city website, Parks and Recreation, and then they can find your email to send to you. And also, when we get the press releases, we will also publish them on our website. So thank you, Mark, for coming in today and telling us about these Shelton City parks.
Yeah, thanks, Mark.
Absolutely.
It is National Park Week, and moving on now, let's move from one city park to a big ballpark. Time for Mariners Monday. 462-1041. Here's the question for you. It was a historic day at Yankee Stadium yesterday with two Japanese-born starting pitchers facing off one another. How many times have two Japanese-born starting pitchers faced off in MLB history? That is a tough question. And I don't think our first caller is calling in to play the trivia contest. Good morning. Is this Karen?
Hello?
Hi, Karen. Can you hear me? Uh-oh, we're having a hard time hearing Karen. Karen, can you hear me?
Hello?
Oh, we had something going. How about now, Karen?
Now I can hear you.
Karen, I'm going to need to have you call back because we're in the middle of a contest.
Okay.
Thank you. All right. So once again, the phone line is open, 360-462-1041. Carol, again, the question.
And what was so it's a historic day at Yankee Stadium on Sunday with two Japanese-born starting pitchers facing off against one another. How many times have the two Japanese-born starting pitchers faced off in Major League Baseball history?
Hello. Hi, iFIBER One News Radio. Who are we talking to?
Kern.
Kern?
Yes.
The Colonel?
What up?
How you doing, Kern?
Yes.
Do you have an answer to the question? How many times have two Japanese-born... Go again.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can barely hear you. Is it 12?
It is 12, Kern. Congratulations. You got that right.
I can hear you now.
Okay, good. It's good to hear from you. And speaking of, now that I have you on the line, actually, you're going to be doing the Traveler 5K, huh, this weekend?
I am.
The big food truck's coming up there?
My big-ass truck.
I cannot wait to see the Colonel offering up those delicious eats. Are you still doing food in the city?
I am. I'm doing business usually Tuesday through Friday, right across the street from the funeral home.
That's right. I see your truck there often on my way home. Well, Kern, you have won yourself a pair of tickets to the Seattle Mariners April 30th game against Kansas City. Nelson Cruz bobblehead night.
I can't wait.
All right, Kern.
Yeah.
Good to hear from you. We've got your information here, so come on by. We've got the tickets for you.
You too. Enjoy the sunshine. Thank you so much.
Have a good one.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
It is 8:29 here now at iFIBER One News Radio, and we're going to take a pause there, and Karen Shade will be calling back in just a moment for our stock report here. Mariners Monday trivia contest continues on, and on the line from Edward Jones, it is Karen Shade. Hello.
Hello.
There we go. Now we're all set up.
Now we're working.
We're giving away some tickets to the Mariners. Big Mariners Day.
What was the question?
Monday. It was a tough one today. It was the fact that two Japanese-born starting pitchers. So Sean Wells had the information in his sports report.
I listened to that this morning.
And he had the number 12.
I was thinking it was 11, so I was close.
You were so close.
I was so close. But no cigar for you.
How's the morning stock numbers?
Well, U.S. stocks are trading higher to begin the week as positive earnings report offsets slumping oil prices. Energy shares are weighing on the market as oil prices fell after a meeting between some OPEC members failed to result in an agreement on a production freeze. In earnings news, Morgan Stanley, Pepsi, Granger and JP Hunt all reported quarterly earnings exceeding expectations. Bond prices are lower this morning. So far this morning, the S&P 500, the best performing sector is healthcare, while the worst performing sector is utilities. The Dow Jones Industrial Average is up 60 points at 17,958. The Standard & Poor's 500 Index is up 8 points at 2,089, and the NASDAQ Composite Index is up 16 points at 4,954. This morning, volume on the New York Stock Exchange is moderate, with 226 million shares being traded, and advancers are outnumbering decliners by roughly 4-3 margin. In the commodity markets, the spot price of gold is up 41 cents to $1,234.57. The spot price of silver is down a penny to $16.23, and crude oil prices are down $1.06 to $39.30. In the bond markets, the 30-year Treasury yield is currently 2.59%, and the 10-year Treasury yield is 1.78%. Stocks of local interest: Amazon is up $5.58. Costco is up 2 cents. Boeing is up 83 cents. Starbucks is down 2 cents. And Microsoft is up 44 cents. This is Karen Shade of Edward Jones, member SIPC, serving individual investors with personalized attention and long-term financial advice. I'm located at 1051 Southeast State Route 3 in Shelton. And if you'd like additional information, you can contact me at 426-4590. And daily commentary is also located on our website at edwardjones.com.
All right, Karen, thank you much. Have a great day. It is 8:32 now, and the latest in local news brought to you right now by Shelton Health and Rehabilitation Center.
From the iFIBER ONE Newsradio studios, I'm Marilyn Foster. Lake Boulevard paving begins tomorrow. Shelton City officials say the contractor will be installing pavement on Lake Boulevard between University Street and the city limits tomorrow through Friday, depending on weather. The asphalt must cool before traffic will be allowed to drive on it. During this time, there will be more trucks and crews on site than there has been to date. Driving lanes will be very narrow and congested with construction crews and equipment. Traffic flow and access to and from driveways could potentially be impacted for up to an hour. Please plan accordingly and avoid the area whenever possible, but especially from 7 a.m. through 7 p.m. Officials ask drivers to please be alert, obey all construction signs and flagging personnel directions for your safety. Mason County Public Utility District 3 is studying relocation of its North Mason Customer Service Office to the business core of Belfair. Annette Creekpalm, PUD3 manager, recently reported to the PUD commissioners that she's been weighing the advantage of having an office in the center of Belfair. The existing office is about 4 miles south of Belfair. Creekpalm said such a move would provide a stronger presence in the Belfair area, giving it easier access for customer services, a safer location for customers and staff, and a better location for engineering consultation. Nearly 1,000 customers per month visit the PUD's North Mason office to pay bills or conduct business with staff. As part of the evaluation, PUD3 staff will move forward in a search for available and suitable office space in Belfair that could accommodate the utility's customer service functions. PUD3 is also working on an internal reorganization regarding how it schedules and dispatches line crews. Beginning May 16th, all crews will initially report to the PUD3 Operations Center for assignments. That frees all line crews for assignment throughout the county, including the North Mason area. The utility expects that more efficient and coordinated operations will benefit all customers with equal or better service. Today is the deadline for submitting your personal tax returns. You got a couple extra days to file this year because the Internal Revenue Service observed a holiday on the 15th, Emancipation Day. It's observed on April 16th. However, because that fell on a Saturday, it was celebrated on the closest weekday, which was Friday. If you're going to wait until the last minute to file, be sure to check the final pickup times at mail drop-off boxes, and be sure to check how late your nearest post office will be open. Tax returns must be postmarked by midnight. For iFIBER ONE News Radio, 1030 KMAS and FM 103.3, I'm Mary Lynn Foster.
Hi, I'm Ken Slater, the Roof Doctor. If you're like me, your family's important, so make sure that they're well taken care of. One of the best ways to do that is to provide a safe and warm home to live in. For over 50 years, the Roof Doctor has been helping families stay safe and warm by building roofs that last for generations. Our teams have some of the most experienced roofers in the area, and we only use the highest quality materials to keep your family safe, warm, and dry. That's the Roof Doctor. Give us a call.
It's a new look to the Seattle Mariners. From the GM down, things have changed. One thing that hasn't changed is that we at iFIBER ONE Newsradio are still your only South Sound home for the Seattle Mariners. The Seattle Mariners are brought to you in part by Whitney's Chevrolet, Ascend Roofing, L&D Bottling, Claris Eye Center, PUD number 3, and Olympia Furniture Company.
Road to the title underway. Hi, everybody. I'm Dave Packer reporting on sports. NBA playoff action in full swing this weekend with the Cavaliers hoping to set the tone in their first-round series against the Pistons.
LeBron to the paint, off the Love for a corner three. He got it! Kevin Love now has 28 points, and the Cavaliers have taken a 94-90 lead.
John Michael on WTAM. Kevin Love's 28 points helped the Cavs escape a potential upset, coming from behind to beat the Pistons 106-101 in South Beach.
Whoever will take a timeline and over, just hold on. And what a great performance by Miami to open up the postseason with this lopsided victory over the Charlotte Hornets.
On the Miami Heat radio network, Luol Deng puts up 31, and the Heat walk all over the Hornets 123-91. Western Conference Game 1 matchups. The Spurs squashed the Grizzlies 106-74. And the Clippers handled the Trailblazers 115-95. On the ice, it was bedlam in Brooklyn.
Nelson in the slot for Hickey. Shoots and scores! Thomas Hickey has won it in overtime for the New York Islanders. They win it 4-3.
Chris King on WRHU-FM. Thomas Hickey's Game 3 heroics give the Islanders a 2-1 series lead against the Panthers. The Blues rallied to score 2 third-period goals and beat the Blackhawks in Chicago 2-1 in favor of St. Louis. The Red Wings blanked the Lightning 2-0. Tampa Bay still holds a 2-1 advantage in that series. And the Predators edge past the Ducks 3-2, winning the first 2 games in the series. To baseball, where the Phillies brought the Nationals back down to earth.
Swung on and punched to left. It's pretty well hit. Worth going back to the corner. He won't get it. Yeah. It's off the base. Yeah. Bronco scores. Galvis wins it. The Phillies beat Papelbon and the Nationals.
The call on WIP, the walk-off win puts an end to the Nats' 7-game winning streak. Pirates on top of the Brewers, 9-3. Cardinals 4, Reds 3. Dave Packer, ABC Sports.
Now from the all-new Gillis Auto Center Sports Desk, here's Sean Wells.
Freshman Manny Nicasio had 2 goals for Shelton as the High Climbers tied Capital on the pitch 3-3. All 6 goals in the contest were scored in the second half. Shelton fast pitch racked up another win, this time in non-league action, taking down Olympic 14-12. The High Climbers racked up 15 hits in the contest. Natalie Albaugh finished 2 for 5 with the home run and 3 RBIs for Shelton. The Seattle Sounders picked up a much-needed home win, knocking off the Philadelphia Union 2-1. Hometown rookie Jordan Morris scored his first career goal as a Sounder in the 71st minute. The Seattle Mariners dropped a tough one to the Yankees on Sunday 4-3. It was just the 12th matchup in MLB history between 2 Japanese-born starting pitchers, with Hisashi Iwakuma going up against Masahiro Tanaka. With the game tied at 3 in the bottom of the 5th, Brett Gardner scored on a wild pitch, putting the Yankees on top for good. However, the Mariners did start the road trip on a positive note, taking 2 of 3 from the Yankees. For iFIBER ONE News Radio, I'm Sean Wells.
Good morning. It's 8:40, and I'm Carol Gardner. And wear shorts today if you want to. It's going to be 85, allegedly, degrees.
We say allegedly. It's going to be 80. It's going to be 85.
Some places
You're
it
still
might
hedging
not.
A little, huh?
I know, but some places it might only hit 82, and they're like, "Well, she said 85."
What was the high yesterday?
84. I know.
0.6.
Yeah, if you want to get technical. But the interesting thing is it's already 60 degrees out.
It's nice out.
Wow. It's a beautiful day. It's going to be beautiful tomorrow. The warm weather does continue through Wednesday. No rain till maybe the end of this week, but it just keeps pushing it out every time I look at the weather forecast. So excellent weather. Though, comes with the spring weather, very high pollen count in sycamore, birch, and cedar, if you're one of those people that gets affected by that. So,
I'm not sure about those ones for me. I think the grass.
You would know already because I have some friends that are, I don't know, I think it's birch or something, but their eyes are just huge puffballs. They can't even see, basically. I mean, that's how much they get affected. So I feel bad for you guys out there right now. I don't know how long that lasts. A few more weeks, maybe a week or so. Life. Yeah, it seems like it when you're having it, but it's a beautiful day. If you can get outside, it's already 60 degrees.
Now, from the iFIBER One News Radio studios, it's Daybreak. Providing local news, sports, weather, and interviews to the South Sound's most important people. You, from business leaders to politicians, from activists for change to advocates for the poor. Your neighbors and newsmakers are here on Daybreak.
Oh, good morning to you. It's Daybreak at iFIBER One News Radio, 842. Jeff and Carol on a beautiful day. And thanks to everybody who called in to play Mariners Monday Trivia Contest. The Colonel was the winner, Kern Dalby. He was able to correctly answer the 12th time the two Japanese-born starting pitchers faced off in MLB history. Thanks to Sean Wells for putting that piece together during his sports report. EDC Director Lynn Longden on the way.
You're listening to Daybreak on iFIBER One News Radio.
My Mason Health is getting everyone connected to their online medical record. Free online access to your medical records from anywhere in the world is now possible 24/7. Manage your medical appointments, message your providers, review your medical information, see test results, and now available online bill pay. It's so easy to access your secure online health record from your computer or smartphone. Whether you're at home, at work, or on vacation, you can get connected. Just visit masongeneral.com or ask how to join My Mason Health at your next hospital or clinic visit.
Mason General Hospital and family of clinics. Equal opportunity provider. Translation services provided.
Mason General and family of clinics.
Mornings start with Daybreak on iFIBER One News Radio. Join Jeff and Carol weekdays from 6 to 9 on AM 1030 and FM 1033, KMAS Shelton.
Hi, this is Terry Allen with a look at the community calendar on iFIBER One News Radio. Nonprofits post your upcoming events on iFiberOneNewsRadio.com. Come experience an evening of jazz with urban ukulele player Michael Powers and the North Mason High School Jazz Band. All proceeds help support the North Mason Music Boosters Club. It's Thursday, April 21st, 7 p.m. in the North Mason High School Auditorium. Tickets are $10 each. Call 360-277-2187. For iFIBER One News Radio, I'm Terry Allen.
Hi guys, Kat here with iFIBER One News Radio. What if I told you that radio advertising is far more effective than print media? Think about all of your customers driving to work, appointments, or events, all the while listening to the radio. Imagine your commercial airs on iFIBER One News Radio and the customer decides, hey, I'm right by there. I'm going to go check it out. Radio captures you and literally speaks to you and your customers several times a day. This enables you to build a unique message that reminds your customers what you have to offer. Remember, your customers can either drive to you or through you. And here at iFIBER One News Radio, we want to direct customers to you. Being the only talk radio formatted station in the entire South Sound region, we have an entire new market for your business to advertise in. As your sales lady, I take pride in providing your business with the best advertising because I want your business to succeed. So call me today at 360-463-2558 and ask for Kat.
iFIBER One News Radio, 1030 KMAS and FM 1033 presents Daybreak.
8:45 on a beautiful Monday morning. We are talking with the director of the Mason County Economic Development Council, Lynn Longden. Good morning, Lynn.
Good morning. Good morning.
Happy Monday to you. Beautiful day today.
It's gorgeous.
Man, I like it.
Yeah.
We've been talking a little bit this morning about your roundtables. You've been having a couple of roundtables over the last couple weeks, this week again. And
right.
How they've been turning out?
I think they're doing really well. One thing I've been noticing is no matter how hard we try, we're not getting everybody in the room. So I just would, shout out to anybody. If there's someone that should be at these, let us know, let them know.
Sure.
We're trying to really get the word out as much as we can. They're not closed meetings at all. They're open meetings. But it's okay. Because just like the forest products one we had last week, the people that were there, they said, you're actually missing some of the smaller contract farmers, landowners, and you're missing some of the log truck drivers. And so they've been sending me lists of people that we're going to contact and say, we've done this. Will you look at what we have? Do you have anything to add, take away?
That's great. I mean, that's almost the whole point.
So we'll do more follow-up one-on-one to try to get the word out there and try to get as much input as we can.
What was this week? Another one. What's the topic that will be having?
April 27th. So next week, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Value-added ag, food and beverage processing.
Okay.
Yeah.
What would that be considered? Value-added agriculture. Value-added ag.
Yeah. Of course, I don't have the list in me, but anything. It's come up several times. Does that mean the cannabis industry? And I'm saying probably. I think they're planning on being there, but they're not, exclusive in any way. So it's anybody that does any food processing. You have the fruit company.
Yeah.
Stretch Island Fruit Company, and you have the mushroom processors.
This is an interesting one.
It is.
It could go in a lot of different ways, and I think we've talked about that over the course of this roundtable.
Right.
From the early inceptions, as people are talking about this, but not quite sure in what regards.
Yeah.
Well, that'll be a good one, to be sure.
Maybe it's the wineries. It's food and beverage. So we're reaching out and trying to get as many different people there as we possibly can, saying, to find out from the industry. So what are some things? Are there some things that we can concentrate on to try to grow the company? Are there regulatory issues that they're facing that we can help with? That type of thing. Yeah.
So at the conclusion of all this, what are we going to do?
What are we going to do?
Not necessarily this next week's meeting, but the conclusion of all the roundtables. We'll collect the information and.
Yep, we'll have strategies, one for each of the industries. We'll pull them together in kind of an executive summary for the overall. This is what we feel like the greatest impact that we can have as a community going forward. We were just joking about, recruiting a Sonic or a Waffle House or that, but this will hopefully give us more pointed direction to where we can say, we have the best bang for the buck to recruit. I'm trying to think of something wild, but based on these industry profiles, and so let's put our efforts together and really concentrate on that.
We were just talking with Mark Ziegler from Parks, City Parks, and one of the things that he was discussing was the upcoming Parks Board and the Parks Plan. It's a 6-year thing. And, we could all sit around all day long and come up with great ideas for businesses to come in, but without some sort of focus, it really just is kind of grabbing at straws.
I agree. This is, trying to get more focus, trying to figure out where our best bet is, if you're going to roll the dice, let's, roll them in the best possible way that we can and be strategic about it.
Looks like this Wednesday, an EDC legislative wrap-up.
That's right. So the EDC and the Chamber are partnering together to do the legislative wrap-up. We'll have Senator Tim Sheldon, Representative McEwen, and Representative Dan Griffey will all be there to answer questions and talk about what happened in session.
Oh, that'll be nice. So check in at 7:30. Program goes, the whole morning goes until about 9:30. You can reserve your seats online at choosemason.com, the EDC's website.
Right. And please do. We need to get them counts for breakfast. And the cost is $15. And it will be breakfast.
At the Alderbrook.
Alderbrook Golf Course. Not the resort down on the water, but the golf course and country club up on the hill.
Oh, that'll be nice too on Wednesday. Nice looking outlook in there.
Oh, beautiful view from up there. Yes.
I like it. Well, very nice. ChooseMason.com. Lynn Lungan, the director of the Mason County Economic Development Council. Again, then in a month as well, the members of the EDC will be part of an extravaganza. We'll talk more about that as we move forward. And that's going to be at the Ridge. But check out the website to learn more about what the Mason County EDC does. And anything else you want to pass along on this beautiful Monday?
No, go have fun and
Get
enjoy
out there
it.
in commerce.
Right.
I like it. Thanks, Lynn. Good to see you.
Thank you.
8:51 here now at iFIBER One News Radio. Take a quick break here from the Old Farmer and start to wrap things up here on this Monday morning. It's Daybreak at iFIBER One News Radio.
You're listening to Daybreak on iFIBER One News Radio.
During Countdown to Earth Day, the Lucky Eagle Casino reminds you that our biggest concern when caring for our Earth is that we put it back the way we found it. The Lucky Eagle Casino says we should all remember to leave the land as good as or better than we found it.
The following message is brought to you by Whitney's Chevrolet. Do you remember when the conservation clubs warned us we were wasting the land? Now we've learned the hard way. They were right. During Countdown to Earth Day, Whitney Chevrolet reminds you that it's not too late to get involved.
Habitat for Humanity of Mason County invites you to shop their local retail stores in Belfair and in Shelton. At Habitat for Humanity stores, you'll find amazing bargains on discounted home improvement supplies, gently used furniture, and so much more. And when you shop Habitat for Humanity, your dollars are put to work helping to improve, build, and maintain affordable housing right here in Mason County. Habitat for Humanity. Let's build a strong community together.
A certain brood of insects has been waiting 17 years to emerge this spring. We've got the cicada forecast for 2016 today from the Old Farmer's Almanac. With more practical tips and useful advice, this is the Old Farmer's Almanac radio report for Monday, April 18th, the 109th day of the year. Conan O'Brien celebrates a birthday, and the mythic midnight ride of Paul Revere was on this night in 1775. 17-year cicadas are set to emerge this year in parts of the eastern U.S. Brood number 5, which is concentrated in eastern Ohio and parts of West Virginia, Pennsylvania, and New York, will be making its presence heard once the ground is sufficiently warm, most likely sometime in June. Like clockwork, tens of thousands of the insects will emerge after 17 years to breed the next generation. They're generally harmless, so it's not hard to put up with them for a few weeks. They've been waiting for their time in the sun, after all, since the Clinton administration. That is the Old Farmer's Almanac radio report. Learn more at almanac.com.
iFIBER One News Radio, 1030 KMAS and FM 103.3 presents Daybreak.
Yeah, 8:54 here on a Monday morning, and a good morning to you. It's Daybreak with Jeff and Carol, and Carol's been providing us with a pretty darn fantastic weather forecast for the rest of the week.
It's all me.
And we thank you for that. That's the kind of, see, you're doing the weathers now, so you're going to get those accolades when the weather's nice. Also, though, when it's not as nice, you'll hear
exactly. What, hailstorm in the middle of summer? What's going on here?
54 here. Tomorrow, we continue our conversations about it's National Parks Week, but tomorrow we're going to talk about the Mason County Parks. Jeff Vrabel, the Facilities, Parks, and Trails Manager, is coming in, along with Carl Olson, the Parks Maintenance Lead, and we'll be talking with them at 7:45 tomorrow morning about the county parks, what you can do there. We learned there's about 13 parks in the city of Shelton, and some great amenities to be had. We didn't have enough time to get through all of the amenities, but one of the newest ones, Neyland Park, has added that off-leash dog area, which is a very nice. Tomorrow as well at 8:15, Dale's going to call in, and he'll be talking with us about the 5K that's happening this weekend. And Seth Elson from the Salmon Center for tomorrow's Environmentally Sound. So a great day. Wednesday, Carol, big day in the pot culture, marijuana culture. It's April 20th, 420. So we have lined up during the 7 o'clock hour a couple cannabis folks. We're going to have the first cannabis retailer in Shelton here from TJ's. And then also way back when this whole thing kind of got its start, we talked with a gentleman named Steve, and he was with AgroPack. And this was gotta be years now, 2 years,
at least
maybe?
2 years.
So he'll be back in to give us an update on what he's been up to.
Yeah, can you give us why it's 420?
How about I do that on Wednesday?
Okay,
All
all right.
Plenty of time to find out for
All right,
sure.
so today is tax day.
It is tax day.
So you have until midnight.
Yeah.
But there's only a few post offices open till midnight. So if you are wondering, you can go to the U.S. Post Office website online and type in your location to see if your post office is open that late. But I doubt it. It's
I'm going to
probably
go out on a limb and say no.
6 or 7. But there are also some other freebies. I guess you get a good reward for getting your taxes done. McDonald's, if it is in your area, will have buy a Big Mac, get the second one 18 cents.
Because today's the 18th. Now I understand.
Yeah, the other one's 18. So Office Depot and Office Max have a coupon, a free shredding paper coupon until April 23rd. I posted that link on our website. Sonic half-price single hamburgers. Staples, I see, says we'll shred up to 5 pounds of your paper documents today. So check your local Staples to see if that is actually still happening. But you'd have to be there today. But just get your taxes done. And as we talked earlier, you can, if you are having issues, contact the IRS and start talking to them and tell them, what's going on. You don't want to be sneaky and pretend that it's just not even happening.
Yeah. Just not addressing this issue will not make it go away. And actually now I'm learning not addressing any issue, just in general, does not help it not go away.
No, you learn that as you get older.
All right. The origin of 420 had nothing to do with a police code. A little bit of information from San Rafael. A group of 5 San Rafael high school students, known as the Waldos, because they hung out on the wall outside of the school, coined the term back in 1971. I'll have more on why and what this actually means, but a lot of people think that it's from the
the
police
code, 420.
420, whatever that means. So we'll tell you how Weed Day got its name on Wednesday. We'll have some fun with this, and also if you're interested in how much per county, per person, per type, meaning per grower, producer, processor, retailer, how much money is coming into the state because of this. There is a great resource, website called it's 502data.com, 502data.com. You can check it out. And it breaks it down by county, by which one is the most highest tier, top retailers, top processors, top producers. Spokane County is the top producer with over 500,000 just in the month of March. Pretty cool stuff, and that's coming up on Wednesday. Puts the wraps on the show for us now, Carol. Hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Everybody else is able to get out there and get some sort of activity, walking a little bit here and there. It's nice sunscreen though, and if you have pets,
or wear a hat.
I guess you'll just wear a hat. Watch out for the dogs and the cats and the kids and the elderly in your cars. Do not leave them in there. If you're going to run into the store and do something, even a crack in the window, the temperatures rise exorbitantly.
If you're going to run on that huff puff trail, you might be huffing and puffing
You sure
at 85
would.
degrees.
Well, what's nice is all those trees in there for the shade. Have a good one.
You're listening to Daybreak on iFIBER ONE Newsradio.
Tom Hartman is live and waiting your call weekdays from 9 to noon on iFIBER ONE News Radio, AM 1030, FM 1033, KMAS Shelton.
Here's the latest from ABC News. I'm Michelle Franzen. The big push in the Big Apple. Republican and Democratic candidates crisscrossing the Empire State today. Senator Ted Cruz had success picking up delegates in Wyoming this weekend, but now Donald Trump looks to get back in the driver's seat in New York.
After a whipping in Wyoming, Trump is favored to win his home state by a wide margin, and that might just be the beginning. Next Tuesday, we'll see primaries and Trump